so I'm not afraid. Spread some sunlight in my darkest days. Spread some sunlight in my darkest days. Show me the beauty when the color fades. Give me the courage, so I'm not afraid. Spread some sunlight in my darkest days. Yeah. I want you to listen to me. Now pay attention. Welcome to my sideshow. Enjoy the free admission. The drama club isn't accepting submissions. Done with all that bullshit. This family's nothing to fuck with. Unless you really want it, then we'll add you to that hit list. Tried to prevent these events to such extent. I gave in, I was hell-bent, I still lost you in the end. I take 2 sets forward and I take 3 sets back. You can hear the contradiction, maybe I really am a psychopath. The meaning in life, it's not a secret that you keep. It's days and weeks of feeling weak, no sleeping and repeat. Lose your mind and then you find it and get buried underneath the happiness, the pain, and you be getting no relief. What the fuck am I saying? All you faggots paying attention. God blessed you with ears, but you idiots never listen. I guess in what I'm saying, since there is no comprehension, my bleeding heart fell apart, let it be your intervention. Lean back, come on, get relaxed. Take another hit, headed for a relapse. Lose your mind with me. Lose your mind with me. Lean back, come on, get relaxed. Take another hit, headed for a relapse. Lose your mind with me. Lose your mind with me. I sit back and I reflect and I think about the past. It's set in stone, I have to view it through the glass. Made a lot of mistakes, I'm learning to adapt. I sit alone and overanalyze the aftermath. No straight and narrow, always seeking out a shortcut. And in the further back, see me playing catch up in the days of sin, wonder on my days.
Hey guys, let me get the timer started. We'll get started here. Sorry, I'm running a little bit late.
Had to lose my brother to learn the value of relationships. I can't forget, I take myself a little trip down memory lane. It's as real as it gets. Sometimes I scare myself from what I really might do. I keep telling you, I've got a couple screws loose, but you refuse to believe the things that I say to you. That's okay, you can join me in the institute. Lean back, come on, get relaxed. Take another hit, headed for a relapse. Lose your mind with me. Lose your mind with me. Lean back, come on, get relaxed. Take another hit, headed for a relapse. Lose your mind.
Alright, let me turn on the timer here. I think we're good now.
I am back, I am better than ever. I survived a little storm and kept my own shit together. But inside my desperation, I was seeking desperate measures. There's a change up in the season, and I'm just a little weathered. There's a thin line between happiness and misery. Pursue the truth, life is not a fucking mystery. Get a clue, common sense is not your enemy. I was just like you, concerned with just the victory. I used to be a hothead, got a firm grip on my
Welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Pain is dangerous, it seems to be my motivator. I'm the type to shoot first and ask the questions later. Can't tell me nothing, this motherfucker knows I tried. I sent him messages, 1,000 prayers with no reply. Can't call my nightmares with a motherfucking lullaby. So fire up that cigarette, pour a shot to multiply. Lean back, come on, get relaxed. Take another hit, headed for a relapse. Lose your mind with me. Lose your mind with me. Lean back, come on, get relaxed. Take another hit, headed for a relapse. Lose your mind with me. Lose your mind with me.
Hey. I heard he was already moving his hair dye in. Please remember to share while we're on the backup channel. Appreciate it.
Panic, I'm a best case. I step back, I'm hell-bent. In this first attempt, gotta keep the pace. If God forgives, I'm ready to live this life full of unpromised days. So fuck it now, I'm all in. Hate motherfuckers wanna keep me down, and what goes around, it comes around. If heaven don't want me, then I'm hellbound. And inside my man, it's Southside land. Set fire to the past, walk through these ashes. Fighting for the best, dip black, Freddy Chappin. Come and take a ride with me, motherfucker, hop in. Welcome back at a full clip. All aboard this crazy train. No money, no cars, no champagne. But I'm still alive and I can't complain. But drama free, it's plain to see. Getting used to these growing pains. Success is certain, back to work and goddamn, I can feel the change. Side of the coin, I'm paranoid. At the surface, I play it cool and I'm afraid of heights. But out of spite, you put me up on this pedestal. But I love you, and I can't deny. Drive myself crazy with the reasons why I can't come to terms with the word goodbye. And the reason is there's no reply. Spread some sunlight on my darkest days, darkest days. Show me the beauty when the color fades, color fades. Give me the courage, so I'm not afraid, so I'm not afraid. Spread some sunlight on my darkest days, darkest days. Spread some sunlight on my darkest days, darkest days. Show me the beauty when the color fades, color fades. Give me the courage, so I'm not afraid, so I'm not afraid. Spread some sunlight on my darkest days, darkest days. So I sit back and relax, still asking myself the same questions. Ignore the facts, I can't turn back. God, please answer me, I'm sick of guessing. I clench my fist, it's gut wrenching. Show me the way to the peace that I'm missing. I'm not religious, but remember this: I live my life with the best of intentions. Don't bullshit me, it's hard to believe. And everything around me is so diseased. So answer this: who the fuck are you? And who the fuck am I supposed to be? Should I listen to God and all his prophets? Listen to the greed that aligns my pocket. Listen to the hypocrites compared to the prophet. Listen to the pain that I've clearly adopted. I can't move on when I'm stuck in the past. Hard to forget with a flag at half-mast. Hard to live and to move so fast. And everything around me is made of glass. And I wanna let you know that I got the message. Stuck in the rut and I'm up for suggestions. But where the fuck is the light of my tunnel? So hand me the balance, I'm starting to stumble. They always say that the strong survive. How do we know too young to die? When happiness is in short supply, they hand you a pill and they tell you to try. I love you, and I can't deny. Drive myself crazy with the reasons why I can't come to terms with the word goodbye. And the reason is there's no reply. Spread some sunlight on my darkest days, darkest days.
Welcome, everybody.
Give me the courage, so I'm not afraid, so I'm not afraid. Spread some sunlight on my darkest days, darkest days. Spread some sunlight on my darkest days, darkest days. Show me the beauty when the color fades, color fades. Give me the courage, so I'm not afraid, so I'm not afraid. Spread some sunlight on my darkest days, darkest days. Yeah. I want you to listen to me. Now pay attention. Welcome to my sideshow. Enjoy the free admission. The drama club isn't accepting submissions. Done with all that bullshit. This family's nothing to fuck with. Unless you really want it, then we'll add you to that hit list. Try to prevent these events to such extent. I gave in. I was hell when I still
welcome, everybody. Just getting started, guys. Thank you for joining us.
A psychopath, the meaning in life, it's not a secret that you keep. It's days and weeks of feeling weak, no sleeping and repeat. Lose your mind and then you find it and get buried underneath the happiness, the pain, and you be getting no relief. What the fuck am I saying? All you faggots paying attention. God blessed you with ears, but you idiots never listen. I guess someone there is no comprehension. My bleeding heart fell apart, let it be your intervention. Lean back, come on, get relaxed. Take another hit, headed for a relapse. Lose your mind with me. Lose your mind with me. Lean back, come on, get relaxed. Take another hit, headed for a relapse.
Hey, welcome. About a minute left. We're getting started, guys. Thank you for joining us.
I sit back and I reflect and I think about the past. It's set in stone, I have to view it through the glass. Made a lot of mistakes, I'm learning to adapt. I sit alone and overanalyze the aftermath. No straight and narrow, always seeking out a shortcut. And in the further back, see me playing catch up in the days of sin wonder. Are my days really numbered? Shit, I don't know, but I ain't getting any younger. Not made up, but I made up. I suggest that you just keep it zip. Had to lose my brother to learn the value of relationships.
Oh no, he meant the chat. That's what he said. Except for the chat from Cold Beer Confessional, they can.
I keep telling you, I've got a couple screws loose, but you refuse to believe the things.
Lick on these external ovaries I carry around. I think that's what he said.
Come on, get relaxed. Take another hit. Headed for a relapse.
Los Angeles in the house.
Lose your mind with me. Lean back.
Hat Riot, mammy. in the house. Thanks for joining us.
Lose your mind with me. Lose your mind with me. I am back. I am better than ever.
All right, guys, I'm turning on the Odyssey stream, and then we'll get started. Let me make sure it's up right quick, and then I know the timer's going to go off, but I have to verify it's up because we lost the first few hours of the video last time we did this.
Fucking miss. Get a groove, common sense is not your enemy. I was just like you, concerned with just the victory. I used to be a hothead, got a firm grip on my temper. I'm on that next level, balanced on center. Pain is dangerous, it seems to be my motivator. I'm the type to shoot first and ask the questions later. Can't tell me nothing, this motherfucker knows I tried. I sent him messages, 1,000 prayers with no
Let me make
reply.
sure it's
Can't call my-
broadcasting. Give me just a second. I like Odyssey because they won't take anything down, so hopefully they won't.
Headed for a relapse. Lose your mind,
Hopefully they won't take us down.
Lose your mind with me. Lean back, come on, get relaxed. Take another hit.
There we go.
Headed for
It's up. It's up, boys. It's up. Let's get after it.
lose your mind with me.
Here we go.
Man, I can't talk to you now. Why do people call me while I'm on? No. Shut up.
Here we go, I think I started some shit.
Yeah.
Get some
Yeah.
about to get lit, get the place in the face, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen nothing yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit.
Uh-oh.
Get some off, it's about to get lit, get the place in the face, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen nothing yet.
Mars in the house.
The jab, pine needle tea,
Underground Doms save the children.
Social security card claims, birth certificate claims, Vatican Tunnel,
Medbed
martial law,
1745. 10 Days of Darkness. Digging tunnels. Dogecoin. The Evergreen. 19. Vaseline. Boom.
Here we go,
All right, here we go.
here we go.
get some off,
Well, Johnny, you can go to Mommy's basement.
you better buckle up.
The Nazis were working with the reptilians.
Here we go, I think I started some shit. Get some off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the face, you know that stage is set.
Woo.
Buckle up, cause you ain't
Dogecoin.
seen nothing yet.
We are now the news.
Yeah. Welcome everybody. I am Will Bard. I don't have the background lights on. I knew I was forgetting something. Something felt weird. Background lights are on. I'm Will Bard. This is the Cold Beer Confessional. Thank you for joining us. Another day, another dollar. It's an all right day. We've been getting along. Found out that if for anybody that's been curious, Tar Pity, that's in here a lot of times, is feeling better. So that's good. I had a bunch of to-dos and stuff with trying to change houses and move and this and that and packing up and storage units and blah, blah, blah. I've been busy all day and felt like I was behind all day, and that makes me anxious, and I don't know. Anyways, it's been an all right day, so thank you for joining us. We're going to go through a show tonight. We're going to kind of bounce around a little bit. If you saw the title, the title is The Moon. That's right. The moon is your enemy. We'll get into that later. That is a direct quote from one of the people we'll cover tonight. We'll get into that later, but that's what we're going to talk about. Before we get started, we are on the backup channel, so if you can, close live chat, especially on YouTube, and share it. We don't get nearly as many views here because we got a strike. I think we still got 8 days left or something before we can go over there. If you're on Facebook, do the same. Start a watch party, share it to a group, whatever you can do. Make sure you like the video. That helps the algorithm. And when the video's over, make sure you liked it, and then leave a comment on the recorded part. Like when the video's over, if you watch to the end, or if you leave, come back tomorrow and leave a comment on it. Something, but I'd appreciate it. Anything we can do to help push the algorithm in our favor is obviously going to help the channel. So thank you guys for that, and all you guys do. I appreciate it. If you want to go above and beyond that, I think you guys know how. That would be cultclub.com, KULTKLUB, cultclub.com. That's just a regular Stream Elements. It's a streamer donation site. It's pretty safe. We also have buymeacoffee.com. If you're coming from Facebook, that's probably the easiest one. For some reason, Stream Elements wants you to sign in as a streamer, but buymeacoffee.com, or buymeabeer.com, either one, /cold beer. And, of course, we have the GoFundMe going on as we work through what we're going on, moving, changing, different ideas, trying to get a roof over our heads, but it'll be all right. But thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for joining us, even on the backup channel. Every time we get banned, you still keep chasing me around the interwebs for some reason. I do appreciate it.
The first place we're going to start is kind of with "I told you so."
Like, you can be mad at this. You can say this is overinflated, this is hype, this is to make us look bad. Okay, but it's still out there, and it is the thing that I said would happen. It is the thing I said that would happen. When they try to corner us all and they try to demonize us all over the beliefs and actions and threats of the few. So let's check this out. It's a Homeland Security Bulletin for August 13th, 2021, summary of terrorism threat to the U.S. homeland. The Secretary of Homeland Security has issued a new terrorism advisory threat (NTAS) bulletin regarding the current heightened threat environment across the United States. The homeland continues to face a diverse, challenging threat environment leading up to the following the 20th anniversary of the September 11th, 2001 attacks, as well as religious holidays we assess could serve as a catalyst for acts of targeted violence. These threats include those posed by domestic terrorists, individuals or groups engaged in grievance-based violence, and those inspired or motivated by foreign terrorists. So, I mean, they're not singling us out completely, but I guarantee you they got people watching this shit. And you know, the whole QAnon movement, you can't even, like, I know there's some people, I have issues and answers and questions I would like answered about 9/11. And I know some people are just like, no, that's what happened. And I know some people are like, no, man, it was green screen, blah, blah, blah. If you're going to be in some of these deeper, darker QAnon rooms and videos and communities, you're not allowed to question at all. Just like we saw Jason Q kick off Skeletor off his show because he didn't believe enough in flat Earth. These actors are increasingly exploiting online forums to influence. This will be how they lock down the internet. They are increasingly exploiting online forums to influence and spread violent extremist narratives and promote violent activity. Such threats are also exacerbated by impacts of the ongoing global pandemic, including grievances over public health safety measures and perceived government restrictions. This would be like people that yell that they're using some type of child-targeting air gas biochemical attack, and you need to tape up all your windows and close it. Though the remainder of the 2021 radically or ethnically motivated violent extremists, RMVEs, and anti-government, anti-authority violent extremists will remain a national threat priority in the United States. These extremists may seek to exploit emergence of COVID-19 variants by viewing the potential reestablishment of public health restrictions across the United States as rationale to conduct attacks. Pandemic-related stressors have contributed to the increased societal strains and tensions, driving several plots by domestic violent extremists, and they may contribute to more violence this year. That whole paragraph is basically about the Q movement. You may think they're hyping it up, but the more you sit down and think about this, this is an experiment. What would have happened if they'd have locked us all in our houses and told us it was going to be 2 weeks? It turns out it's 2 years, and there's still all these crazy restrictions, and people would have just started snapping in like 3 or 4 days because we're not used to that, right? We're not used to everybody being locked at home or being told we can't leave or we shouldn't leave. If we leave, we're killing people, basically. This has been a big experiment. We don't do shit like this. We don't lock down like this. We don't go to our house and not leave. This is very strange, for sure. Additionally, leading up to the anniversary of the 9/11 attacks, Al-Qaeda in the Arabic Peninsula recently released its first English-language copy of Inspire magazine in over 4 years. In over 4 years, they're producing the English version of it again, which demonstrates that foreign terrorist organizations continue efforts to inspire U.S.-based individuals susceptible to violent extremist influences. Historically, Mass casualty domestic violent extremist attacks linked to RMVEs have targeted houses of worship and crowded commercial facilities or gatherings. Some RMVEs advocate via online platforms. Oh, shit, I didn't mean to do that. Advocate via online platforms for race war and have started civil disorder provides opportunity and have stated that civil disorder provides opportunities to engage in violent furtherance of ideological objectives. The reopening of institutions, including schools, as well as several dates of religious significance over the next few months, could also provide increasing targets opportunity for violence though there are currently no credible or imminent threats. This is just a warning. They don't think that there's something actual credible about it, but I thought I'd read it to you. I don't know how many people actually take the time to read through these. And they're pretty lengthy, but we can talk about it. Foreign and domestic threat actors, to include foreign intelligence services, international terrorist groups, and domestic violent extremists, continue to introduce, amplify, and disseminate narratives online that promote violence and have called for violence against elected officials, political representatives, government facilities, law enforcement, religious communities, or commercial facilities. Let me read that again, and then we're going to see if we can find one of these sons of bitches. Foreign and domestic threat actors, to include foreign intelligence services, international terrorist groups, and domestic violent extremists, continue to introduce, amplify, and disseminate narratives online that promote violence and have called for violence against elected officials, political representatives, government facilities, law enforcement, religious communities, commercial facilities, and perceived ideologically opposed individuals. There are also continued non-specific calls for violence on multiple online platforms associated with DVE ideologies or conspiracy theories on perceived election fraud and alleged reinstatement and responses to anticipated restrictions relating to increasing COVID cases. Ideologically motivated violent extremists fueled by personal grievances and extremists' ideological beliefs continue to derive inspiration and obtain operational guidance through the consumption of information shared in certain online communities. I'm telling you, hold on, let me see if I can find it right quick. Joe Biden. Let's do Biden, Kamala, online extremism. You want to know, if you think the internet's censored now, you want to know how they're going to fucking destroy it to where there's only one narrative there? They already told you why they were running. Plan to end online violence against women. This was back when they were plan to fight online abuse. Maybe this is it. I know it's in the Discord. President-elect Joe Biden is no stranger to problems facing, blah, blah, blah. After taking office in January, Biden plans to tackle another big online crisis, harassment and abuse. He says he'll create a task force focusing on the connection between threats and stalking and real-world consequences like extremism and violence. The task force is expected to be filled by state and federal leaders, law enforcement policy advocates, and technology experts. The goal is to come up with recommendations on how governments, social media companies, schools, and other entities can address the problem. So that sounds good until they label you and your very normal beliefs as extreme beliefs. They're already working with Facebook to flag posts. They said that they flag posts for Facebook. Nearly half of all internet users report experiences of harassment or abuse. A Biden campaign statement says the Biden administration will shine a light on the online harassment, stalking, and abuse that now is a too frequent reality for Americans, particularly for young people and women. In recent months, members of both political parties, for different reasons, have slammed Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube for how they police content on their sites. In response, regulators are reviewing whether to change or repeal a law called Section 230. This is back in November, dude. This is back in fucking November. He produced a plan way more than that. Hold on, let me see if I can find it right here. Biden online plan. It might just be too old. I don't know how old it'll go back. I know we had it on Discord because I was like, guys, if this goes through, if this guy wins and implements this is the end of my channel. It was so like you couldn't speak anything about anybody's intrinsic values or the way they believed or their opinion or not. I mean, it was really, really restrictive. I'll see if I can find it in just a second. Biden wants the task force to recommend a system that companies can use to publicly report harassment and the steps they take to stop it and to come up with the best practices for fixing the problem. Twitter declined to comment to Fortune about the new task force. Instead, it referred to its own policies against harassment and hate, which critics say are insufficiently enforced. So these companies don't want a government task force there. I mean, they're already doing shady shit. No company wants the federal government to come in and start overseeing. They just don't. It's going to cost them money. It's going to cost them time. And it's going to make them less liked by the public. Most recently, Twitter updated its policies to limit or prevent the spread of links that promote violence or include threats. It also expanded its rules against hateful conduct to include language that dehumanizes people based on their religion, age, disability, or disease. And is testing ways to warn users that they may be posting hateful content before they post. It also hides porn videos from famous sons. Facebook did not respond to a request for comment, but it too has recently cracked on what it considers unacceptable speech. Last month, for example, it created a new rule banning users for denying the Holocaust, but they can still deny genocides elsewhere. In addition to creating a task force, Biden plans to fund training for law enforcement combating online abuses. He also supports the state and federal legislation that would give victims of revenge porn the ability to sue. Now, I think revenge porn is kind of fucked up, the ability to sue, and I think you should be able to sue. For example, Biden supports legislation known as the SHIELD Act, co-sponsored last year by the Senate and now Vice President-elect Kamala Harris, that criminalizes revenge porn. Let's see. Biden online harassment plan. No, that's November. It should have been on before then, before November. Misspelled harassment. All right, November 10. Violence against women. November 12th. Because this was like when they were running and shit. It shouldn't have been November. March 18th, but that's 2021. November 9. Sorry, I'll go through one more page. If we don't find it, it's fine. We'll move on. 2021. December 2nd, 2020. 2021, December 4th. It's no big deal. It doesn't look like anybody's. It's been flooded out by all the new results. But still, that's what they're pushing through. That's how they're going to use it to censor the internet for sure. I agree, too, that there ought to be a voice of reason. Obviously, that's what my show is. My show is a voice of reason. Hey, let's not let these people hide and talk about reptilians and air gas chemical attacks and taping a Walmart bag over your head to survive the DHS coming through your town. Let's not let them hide. Let's put them out there in the sunlight and let's talk about it and tell it why it's wrong, right? Tell everybody why it's wrong. I think when you ban people, you create more extremist communities that are just deeper and deeper and deeper, and they're never hearing the other side of the other narrative. I don't think the answer is just start labeling everything an extreme viewpoint and ban everybody, which seems to be the way they're trying to push. Like today, my views are perfectly normal. Tomorrow, they'll say, oh, well, you know, we did have this one guy who acted like this and this other guy who was kind of linked to that guy. And this, okay, now that's extreme. That's too extreme. Now that's too extreme. No speech is too extreme. As long as you're not calling for action in a negative way, like fire in a crowded theater or screaming he's got a gun and getting somebody peppered. If it's not a call to action, violence isn't extreme, or free speech isn't extreme. We ought to be able to debate it all. I ought to be able to say the biggest fucking lie online I want right now. And I don't care if a box pops up or this or that with Wikipedia. But if it's just a lie or something I believe that I can't prove, instead of banning me and hiding me and putting me over on Rumble or putting me over on BitChute or putting me over somewhere where they never hear the other side, you ought to allow everybody who doesn't believe that to grab that video, link to it, and say, no, it's wrong here, it's wrong here, it's wrong there, and it's wrong there. Where are we at? personal grievances. Violent extremists may use particular messaging platforms or techniques to obscure operational indicators that provide specific warnings of a pending act of violence. Law enforcement have expressed concerns that the broader sharing of false narratives and conspiracy theories will gain traction in mainstream environments, resulting in individuals or small groups embracing violent tactics to achieve their desired objectives. See, why can't we all just be friends and come together on the issues that we both believe in? Well, because the issues that you claim you don't believe in would be false narratives and conspiracy theories that are gaining traction in mainstream environments, resulting in individuals or small groups emplacing violent tactics to achieve the desired objectives. I think that's the most scientific way it's been laid out. Or we could put it as simply as Mike Penny, Mark as we call him, preaches about reptilians and lizard people and reptilian blood being passed down. A man who found that online and got sucked into it, clearly had mental health issues, but online studied the reptilians and the reptilian bloodline and how it's passed down and how we were being screwed and we were getting ready for the Enlightenment, killed both his kids. Now, I'm not saying that the kid's bloods isn't on that man's hand that was mentally unstable. It was. But how much is it on the creator who made the video that convinced him that reptilian blood was really being passed down to his kids? And how much is on your fucking hands when you say, oh, I don't agree with that shit, but we don't like this stuff you have to strap on your face. We're going to fight together when we're talking about this on Tuesdays and Thursdays. But on Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays, when he's talking about reptilians, when he's talking about gas attacks, when he's telling people that 100 million Americans are going to go to war with the Capitol on if something don't happen in August, when he's talking about how we need to bring them all down, and they're taking hot knives to your children, and we need to take them all to the guillotine. Well, I don't agree with none of that. Okay, that's his Monday, Wednesday, Friday show. I'm only a Tuesday, Thursday guy. I'm a Tuesday, Thursday guy, and that's unity. Okay. Less blood on your hands doesn't mean no blood on your hands. With a mainstream environments, blah, 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 tactics, desired objectives. With a diverse array of threats, DHS is concerned that the increased outbreaks of violence in some locations, as well as targeted attacks against law enforcement, may strain local resources. Nation-state adversaries have increased efforts to sow discord. For example, Russian, Chinese, and Iranian government-linked media outlets have repeatedly amplified conspiracy theories concerning the origins of COVID-19, effectiveness of vaccines, in some cases amplifying calls for violence targeted persons of Asian descent. I know you want to know the one of the easiest way, I feel like, one of the easiest ways to tell that you're not dealing with Russian or Chinese or Iranian counterintelligence that's been slipped in as a post? Well, they're fucking good at it. So if you think it's Russian, Iranian, oh my God, what are you doing, crazy? I see you're a cat. Oh no. If it sounds like it's got a Russian narrative, a Chinese narrative, or an Iranian narrative, and it's being pushed to you to change your mind, then it's not. They are very, very, very good at pretending to be Americans pushing like red, white, and blue patriots and blah, blah, blah. When you see the ones that's like, hello, comrade, we're going to do this to the horrible communism, this or that, that's clearly the ones they want you to see. That's what they want you to see. What?
You weren't impressed.
Okay. I don't know if they'll let them wear them at school. You might have to tape up the lights or take the batteries out.
It turns off.
Okay. Yeah. Your Coke can nipples are showing through your shirt.
I know.
Black as coal. Like your soul. Tactics desired objectives with a disarray, non-state adversaries. Okay. Asian descent. How we are responding. DHS will continue to identify and evaluate calls for violence, including online activity associated with the spread of disinformation, conspiracy theories, and false narratives by known or suspected threat actors and provide updated information. As necessary, DHS continues to encourage the public to maintain awareness of evolving threat environment and report suspicious activity. DHS is coordinating with state and local law enforcement officials, local law enforcement and public safety partners to maintain situational awareness of potential violence in their jurisdictions and maintain lines of communication with federal partners. DHS is also advancing authoritative sources of information to debunk and, when possible, preempt false narratives and intentional disinformation, and providing educational materials to promote resilience to the risk associated with interacting with and spreading disinformation, conspiracy theories, and false narratives. More broadly, DHS remains committed to identifying, preventing terrorism and targeted violence while protecting the privacy, civil rights. So I really, 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 really don't like the government fucking around in what is true, what isn't, what is false, what is disinformation and what is information. I don't. But we've got so many people that are just eat up bullshit because this guy said God 3 times in the last 4 minutes. He prays at the start of his show, and he says we're all going to come together, and my presidential candidate's coming back. Like, I don't want the government involved in this, but I understand why they are. Some crazy motherfuckers out there. All right, let's see if we can find one of these guys. I don't know if I've seen anybody spreading this type of information or rhetoric or disinformation or lies or calls for violence against politicians or maybe even, carrying a Tomahawk. By the way, just full disclosure, this is an older video when you guys start asking. This is one already old? Yeah, it is. It's just it's kind of a good one if you just want a short one.
We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by the Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from consent of the governed.
Well, I mean, it's you're as fucked one way as you are the other. They have to be there monitoring these back channels, because that is how they break up terrorist rings and stuff. But just the fact that they're there and corrupt makes a lot of the shit corrupt. I'm sure there's some very good and valiant efforts taken to bust this person or bring this person to charges, but there's also a lot of times where they're like, hey, angry white youth, how about we go blow up this building? And I know I'm not an FBI agent.
That whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter
usurpations.
New government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Prudence indeed will dictate that governments long as
it doesn't sound as good without my hands. It sounds a lot better like this.
And accordingly,
but
that mankind are more disposed to suffer while evils are sufferable than to right them.
I never, ever want you guys to. I don't ever skip the intro. I know how much. I can tell how much you guys love it in chat.
Themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such
usurpations.
Guards for their future.
More cowbell. How do you get the lotion on the cowbell?
Waking up, and this is the tipping point.
Ladies and gentlemen, Scott McKay here. It is March the 12th. 2021, and this is
a good one for Scott getting mad, not only at the government, not only calling out political leaders, not only calling out people just parallel to political leaders, by way of. He also calls out the Khazarians for doing this and doing that and setting us up here and setting us up there, and he goes in a good one, this one.
Patriot Street Fighter 7 channel, the extension of The Tipping Point on Revolution Radio, the full throttle truth hammer that brings down the rain on all the scumbags worldwide. And I've gone through who these people are in the ruling power structure. I guess today's the day we throw the cartel in that is run by the clowns in America, as they always have been. And we have a special guest today. Many of you have seen him across the broad spectrum of media, online and on mainstream TV and news, at least the ones that'll be showcasing the truth about what truly goes on in this world. And a lot of the major challenges that have happened over the last decade, 12 years. He has a long, illustrious career specializing in human trafficking. You know, that's one of the reasons that we actually decided to launch this Truth Hammer operation well over a year ago now. And it is a pleasure and truly a privilege to have our guest on here today, because he is the guy who has been on the front lines of taking down the major part of this criminal, evil power structure that's basically encircled the planet. And from a territorial standpoint, it's right here on the southern border in the United States. So I want to introduce to you the legendary ICE agent, world record holder in some things that have to do with weapons. This is a last minute opportunity today to bring him on. And so it's truly a privilege and an honor to have Victor Avila, one of our heroes on the southern border. Victor, it is absolutely fantastic to have you today, my friend.
Thank you, Scott. I really appreciate the platform and the time, and especially the importance that we're facing and the challenging times that we're facing with all these criminal networks and our open borders. And so thank you for having me.
Well, it's really a privilege. You know, most people know you from your best-selling book, Agent Under Fire. That's something we want to talk about today. We're going to talk a little bit about your story when that fateful day happened, but I'd like to lay the groundwork on your career as it started, as it tracked over the next decade with ICE and the other things you've done. So at what point did that all begin when you went down a career path, and what made you go down a career path?
You know, I'm born and raised in El Paso.
This guy's legit, but he's also, he plays too far and too deep. Like, it's not that he plays in these narratives. He lets other people play, and then they'll be like, "Aren't you right?" And he'll be like, "Or isn't that right?" And they'll be like, "Yeah." He agrees with them too often.
In Texas, and you know, very familiar with the border. And my law enforcement career started with the state as a Texas Department of Criminal Justice as a parole officer. Then worked for the United States courts as a federal probation officer, and eventually became a special agent with U.S. Customs, which we now know as ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement. When both agencies, the U.S. Customs Service and the Immigration and Naturalization Service, were combined under the new Department of Homeland Security back then in 2003. And so, yeah, it was you know, talk about investigating anything and that touches our southern border or any border of the United States. And has a nexus to it. HSI, now Homeland Security Investigations, has a jurisdiction to investigate that. And we're talking about human trafficking, human smuggling, money laundering, drug trafficking, intellectual property rights, which, you know, a lot of people kind of forget that part that HSI does as well. But, you know, counterfeit masks, counterfeit vaccines, things that are fraudulent things that try to come through that porous border that we have.
So when you got started in your career, at what point did you move up into ICE operations?
So when I started off in narcotics investigation, like most agents do on the border. Eventually, I did some good investigative work and made a name for myself in the El Paso office, and with some big investigations that allowed me to move to other investigative groups, like financial groups dealing mostly with money laundering and the Bank Secrecy Act and those type of investigations. And then led to my assignment on the other side of the border. You know, ICE has and HSI has offices in 76 countries, and one was right across the border in Ciudad Juarez, which back then this was 2008, when that city was the most dangerous city in the world. We're looking at 300
Juarez.
a month there. And the office needed help. I started there on a temporary status duty. And then that status and that assignment led to my permanent assignment to the U.S. Embassy in Mexico City, which I then went and took my family with and served. And I concentrated heavily on the human trafficking aspect.
Oh, no. I'm going to open this against my better judgment.
Is good.
Is good. Is all that came through. I could see you said something else, but is good is the only audio I got from it.
It's good. It fits nice.
It fits nice. Okay, it played the second time through. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm glad you got your merch.
Been running the human trafficking task force in El Paso and investigating those type of cases as well. But really, it was a game changer when I went to Mexico, because there was a lot of organizations that were just bringing in kids and women into the United States for the sole purpose of exploiting them sexually. And I'm talking about places like New York, Atlanta, Houston, Miami, Chicago.
So the problem is we can't just actually rule people out that appear with Scott and say, oh, not legit. And the reason being is because Scott turns on different... Scott, the whole first part, if you watch Scott's interview, the whole first part, it's almost like he's filling somebody out. And he knows how much crazy he's going to turn on to not get any type of backlash from that at all. So instead, he just dials up just enough to where he thinks they can stay with him. No, we all see you in chat, and it's on the screen. Like, what are you trying to do? I timed you out. I didn't ban you, but you're working on it. Okay. You got timed out earlier.
Well, all over the place. And I was successful in taking a lot of those organizations down and rescuing countless women and children from those horrific conditions. And unfortunately, it continues to happen. It's continuing to happen even more so now as we speak right now with the new administration and the open border policy that they have implemented just in the last few weeks. And we've seen the influx of these individuals, not just the adults, but the unaccompanied minors that are coming down through the border. And we could really dive into that. But that's what I did in my career. And in 2011, suffered a horrific attack by the Zetas cartel. My partner and I were ambushed by Los Zetas cartel on a highway in Mexico. I was shot 3 times and miraculously survived. My partner paid the ultimate.
He's got a pretty crazy story, and I'm sure he's got paperwork. He wouldn't just claim that. I'm sure he's got something to back that up.
Special Agent Jaime Zapata. And that's the reason, one of the big reasons why I wrote.
Actually, I think when he first did this interview, I looked his story up and the book he wrote about it.
To make sure that people knew about his story and knew the sacrifice that he gave in protecting and trying to protect our homeland from the same subjects that we're talking about: arms trafficking, human trafficking, drug trafficking, and the poison that these cartels continue to bring into our country. And so that kind of changed my life, and it ultimately ended my career. I took a retirement in 2015, but I haven't stopped from carrying, as a proud American, from carrying what happens to our country. And I see that we're losing every day the protection, and I want to continue to protect our sovereignty because I see us losing that. And I want to be able to share not just my expertise, because I continue to stay
easy with sovereignty. That's one of their trigger words. They'll start shitting in their hand and flinging it at the camera, screaming, "Robert J. Gould."
Is going to lead to, because people think freedom's free. It's not. Somebody's got to pay for it. Unfortunately, it's paid for in blood by people like you, your partner, the military. If the citizens will not defend their own sovereignty, their personal individual sovereignty, inevitably and eventually, these scumbags are going to take over.
I guess.
That's why the founding fathers
there you go
created the Bill of Rights 3 weeks after the Constitution was signed, or was ratified or signed by everybody, all the parties that was there, except Alexander Hamilton, who's the one that got it all together and said, "I'm not going to sign this at all," because there's nothing.
There isn't another vet here, but a good shot.
That's why the Bill of Rights came about, and people have just casually let that stuff just go and let these criminals make us believe that they have the ultimate power when they don't. They do what we tell them. Now, when it comes down to how do we handle this as citizens, we're trying to raise the awareness of some of the, I think, the people in this country that can make a difference are the special operators. And when I threw out the Operation Restoration, reaching out, getting groups of Navy SEALs to come together. And they don't need to bring weapons, not at this point, if ever. Right. But they need to start getting involved in these.
All right, so this is a failed program of Scott's. I don't know if you guys remember this, but Operation Restoration, which he stole the name from about 50 programs that have already happened. Operation Restoration is where he was going to have Navy SEALs this school year at everybody's school. Every school board will have Navy SEALs on it. I'm bringing them.
Just go and let these criminals document or signed by everybody, all the parties that was there, except Alexander Hamilton, who's the one that got it all together and said, "I'm not going to sign this at all," because there's nothing in this document that protects the people from we, the government. And that's why the Bill of Rights came about. And people have just casually let that stuff just go and let these criminals make us believe that they have the ultimate power when they don't. They do what we tell them. Now, when it comes down to how do we handle this as citizens, we're trying to raise the awareness of some of the, I think, the people in this country that can make a difference are the special operators. And when I threw out the Operation Restoration, reaching out, getting groups of Navy SEALs to come together. And they don't need to bring weapons, not at this point, if ever. Right. But they need to start getting involved in these local activities. And I'm hoping that we can get enough to coordinate this, where they show up at these board meetings, where they show up at, or not board meetings, but school board meetings, if they show up at these county commission meetings, and they're the ones that stand up and asking questions. Because you're looking at a skilled seasoned warfighter with amazing leadership skills that once one of these guys take on one of these worms, these scumbag, slimy politicians that
I don't think that's the, like, I'm not going to tell a Navy SEAL that he can't, and maybe he has really good ideas. Maybe he has really shit ideas. There's some crazy-ass Navy SEALs I've met in my time that I probably wouldn't want on my son's school board. Thank you for your service. Thank you for what you did. You're a bad motherfucker. Bad motherfucker. Did more than me, better man than I'll ever be. But there's some crazy sons of bitches I don't want on my son's school board. I don't think it's just show up at school boards with Navy SEALs and have them yell at the school board members. No. If there's an issue at your local school board, you and the parents who have a vested interest come together at the school board to speak. And if it's something that people don't understand, you or your friends or the school board or whatever, bring in an independent expert. So a doctor or a scientist or a fucking a garbage man, if it has something to do with picking up garbage, like if it's something you don't understand, you're the one with the vested interest. The Navy SEAL coming and yelling at the school board, I don't think is going to accomplish much. Thank you for your service again.
At any level, set behind these desks, sitting up there thinking they're so arrogant that they're there to instruct people how to live their lives when they're there to take orders from the population. When these guys stand up, I believe what happens is when they lay out the law and tell them how it is, then everybody around them will start clapping and cheering and say, yeah, we're with this guy. Because once you put enough numbers, just basically of political force toward these worms, these people are cowards. They stand down. If they ever had to,
I don't know about that. Let me ask you this, chat. This is an impromptu poll. How often have you been in your adult life somewhere where someone stood up and said something in a crowded room and then suddenly like a slow clap broke out and then they're like, yeah, woo, yeah, I'm with that guy. Have my babies, shit like that. That doesn't happen very often. I mean, I know it happens. I've been at one or two. It doesn't happen very often, and I'm sure it doesn't happen at every school board meeting.
be on the receiving end of a barrel of a gun, they would shit their pants. They would cry, they would run out of the room because that's.
Wait. Why? You just said the Navy SEALs were specifically not to bring guns. Why would they be at the receiving end of the barrel of a gun, Scott, and shitting on themselves? What are we doing to the school board, dude?
On how it is, then everybody around him will start clapping and cheering and say, yeah, we're with this guy. Because once you put enough numbers, just basically of political force toward these worms, these people are cowards. They stand down. If they ever had to be on the receiving end of a barrel of a gun, they would shit their pants. They would cry, they would run out of the room.
Scott, have you ever been in combat? Have you had someone firing, been at the receiving end of hot lead coming down range? Have you ever been there, Scott? How do you know you wouldn't shit your pants and crumple? Like, I've seen better men I served with that were trained to do it, not know what it was like first deployment and couldn't handle it. Ended up going home on fucking on the psych eval and med call.
Because that's what they are. And once America, it has been my mission from the beginning, is to show America who these people really are. Americans have the power, and if we collectively stand up,
never, ever, 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 ever say, if you haven't tested it, what you would do under enemy fire. When that guy, 100 yards away and behind a fucking a corner wall of a fence post or like a mud fence. When he's shooting at you and you're shooting at him, or the bullets first pop off, or the fucking road underneath you explodes, man, you don't know how you'll react till you get there. It's the same reason that it's the same reason you should train with your weapon so much. Typically, what they find is if you're whatever pattern you shoot. 11 Bravo Dreamweaver about you 3 6-packs. Cheers to Scott McKay, the greatest Bravo Foxtrot digital pogue that ever existed. Thank you very much, Dreamweaver. I appreciate it. Typically, whatever you shoot, let's say you shoot a 3-inch group with your sidearm at 20 yards. Whatever you shoot. Now, when you add stress, outside elements, the fact that somebody is or could be shooting at you or has a gun, your shots increase by 40, 50, sometimes 60%, usually around 40%. Now, if you're aiming at someone's head and you were hitting here in a 4-inch group and you increase that by 40%, you're missing shots left and right. You don't know what you do under stress. It's weird. I didn't know what the fuck I would do. And I can't even say I wasn't fucking nervous about it. I didn't know if I'd fucking be able to fucking run around fucking people shooting at me and shoot back and know what's going on, and I have somebody fucking sneak up and Allah Akbar me from behind. Like, come on. No one does.
In this country, the hundreds of millions and worldwide by the billions. And we can no longer sit down and allow this country to be stolen by the very traitors that are inside this wire who have American citizenship. And again, letting their other partners come in, their partners in crime, these foreign powers infiltrating the border. But again, to me, it all comes back to which of you in America are okay with a small child, a little boy or a little girl being brutally sodomized by 30 to 40 people a night.
Okay, here's like, you don't have to call it a false narrative if you don't want to. I'm sure it happens at some point in the history of fucking the world. But to act like it's a very common existence and he has no proof. I'm not even going to say little to know. He has no proof of this. This is another radicalized statement he's going to make. Listen to what he makes. And tell me, okay, Imagine you're a person. I know this is hard, but imagine you're a person who already deals with some mental issues, who already has anger issues, who already thinks the government's out to get you, who already thinks like stuff's going on, or maybe your phones are tapped all the time, or your neighbor works for the CIA, like a real guy that's really on the edge, right? I got you. I wouldn't do Scott's daddy. I don't think I would. His dad just passed away, but that's you and not me. Anyways, imagine that you're one of those a targeted individual, kind of, right? And then imagine that you're sitting there and you've got a child, and Scott tells you that they're in your state, they're grabbing children, and they're taking them down, and then 30, 40 times they're having their way with them over and over and over again until they have their way with them till death. That might be what snaps you. You know what I mean? Like, you can't keep putting this out there. You can't keep putting this shit out there without some type of proof or something. Not to mention the whole issue with if you call everybody a thief, then nobody's a thief. If you call everybody a racist, then nobody's a racist. If you call everybody a fucking badass, then nobody's a badass. If you give everybody a fucking trophy or a medal, then no one won. Not to mention all the problem with that, but also this narrative that you're putting out there, that even if it exists on some type of scale, you're clearly blowing it way out of the fucking water. Imagine if that guy's... This is hard to even say. Imagine if that guy, the same scenario, a guy's struggling, blah, 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 and he does have a kid, and maybe he gets custody every once in a while. Imagine if that kid wandered off and went missing for an hour or two, and he was in the middle of watching Scott McKay's video when it happened. Wonder who he'd be looking for. I wonder what would be on his mind.
The hundreds of millions and worldwide by the billions. And we can no longer sit down and allow this country to be stolen by the very traitors that are inside this wire who have American citizenship. And again, letting their other partners come in there.
You can't keep saying my hands are clean because I just put the information out there. Because I'm not saying it's a majority. I'm not saying it's half or an eighth or a quarter or a 32nd or a 1/64th. I'm saying there is a number greater than zero of people who will act out in a way that puts the entire movement at jeopardy, in jeopardy, if you feed them the right, just putting the information out there. It's greater than zero, right? And we saw it happens. It lashes out. We've had the stuff at with Ashley. We've had the Nashville. We've had the guy who just recently admitted to killing his kids. Man, that was the worst fucking story ever. That was horrible. And he's been watching YouTubers about QAnon, about Ascension. It didn't seem like he was real big on the Trump returning, but he was on the Ascension and the new religion they're coming out with, the light beings, the aliens, and the reptilians trying to keep us from getting there. The reptilians were trying to keep us from getting to where we truly belonged, our next level.
Partners in crime, these foreign powers infiltrating the border. But again, to me, it all comes back to which of you in America are okay with a small child, a little boy or a little girl, being brutally sodomized by 30 to 40 people a night and think that is okay to call ourselves a proud American? How can you be a proud American when this?
Wait. He says, which of you in America? So he's making a direct call to people watching his show. How many people watch your show that knows that's going on somewhere and is like, I'm okay with it? I don't trust Scott at all. But if Scott called me right now and says, don't worry how I got your phone number, but three houses down at your neighbor's, Mr. Flynn's, in the basement, there are 16 children and a crowded basement full of well-hung gentlemen who are brutally sodomizing those kids 30, 40, 50 times a night. Are you just going to say, no, of course I would go check on that, and I don't even believe you. But to insinuate that which one of you, the American people, is okay with this just happening 30, 40, 50 times a night? Which one? Who is? Where? How can I get there to stop it, Scott? Because buying your T-shirt just keeps buying fucking buses. And I haven't seen any kids on the buses. So what do I do? I'll watch more of my show, participate more in my chat.
This insanity is going on in this country. So
it's insanity, Scott, and you're right on. They're coming at us at every direction. The school boards, the critical race theory, the indoctrination of our kids at every angle with the policies from the far left. Absolutely, I see it in my own local town. We have a big struggle with that right now in our school board, and how the left is trying to change change our curriculum for our kids and identify microaggressions. I mean, it is out of control. But another point that
Patriot Paint Crapper.
These guys, there's one law right now that they're trying to pass, and
They're falling right into it, ain't they?
Enforcement reform. They call it the George Floyd justice reform.
You want to know what's sad? These people stand on top of rescuing kids and putting the word out there and waking people up, and now they're awake and we're going to find the tunnels, and I accidentally fucked up. Like, shouldn't have been there, was already fucking drunk, just sticking my nose in someone else's business that I probably normally wouldn't have had I not been drinking, had I not been with the people that I was with, and accidentally stopped a kidnapping. But you build your brand on the back of saving these kids. They're down here in these tunnels. They're getting this. They're getting that. They're breeding them. They're taking their organs. They're using hot knives. They're making them painful. They're running tubes up their snout and drinking their blood. What? What does this help, dude? I'm telling you, I accidentally got involved in one, and it wasn't nothing like that. By accident, I just fell into one. But you built your channel on top of all this, and you can't show me any of them.
And I already heard of that. This is out of control. And if people are not aware of what this does, this changes what police are able to do, and eliminates qualified immunity for law enforcement. It bans federal officers from using deadly force. It creates a national police of misconduct registry. It stops.
That's exactly right. They've never and never will. They never have and never will save a kid. Not that I'm a baby saver either, but I don't build my brand off selling T-shirts that say "Save the Kids" or "Our kids are not for sale" or "Here's a map of the tunnels." You do your own research.
The transfer of equipment from law enforcement to another law enforcement agency. It is crazy, but this is what's happening while you're getting all the distraction that's going on in the southern border. Washington is trying to pass these laws that's going to affect your community and what your police officer around the corner from you can do and cannot do. And
if you're new here, the kidnapping that we lucked into was just at a fireworks show. A little kid it looked like he was with a man, possibly his dad. The kid was probably 5 to 7, maybe. I don't even. God, it's been years ago. A young enough kid that he was talking and walking, and the guy was almost like pulling him, like he was in trouble, like he didn't want to go get a whipping or something. And we were just real close to that guy, and he bumped into the guy in the front. Like we were not in a single file line, but we were kind of staggered, and one was in the front, and I was in the back, and there was a guy in between me and the front guy. And the front guy, he bumped into his shoulder, and when he did, that guy turned around, and we all kind of looked at him and heard the kid say, like, "I don't want to go with you. Where's my mommy?" or something like that. And then that was enough. We just thought we would stop it until we could get the police over there. And then the guy tries to get, like, as soon as we make it clear that he's not fucking going anywhere until we at least see what's going on, for his sake, the kid's sake, everybody's sake, that's when he starts trying to run his fucking mouth and trying to throw hands and shit. And that didn't end up good. But the cops came, and that's what it was. The kid was separated from his mom. She had just made it to the stage to try to start getting him paged and try to start looking for him. But they were almost in the park. We were on the edge of this event. They were almost already in the parking lot.
And it's only taking the power away from the police. It's taking the power away from the citizen. Second Amendment, we could talk about that, and wanting to take the protection and our Second Amendment right to carry. And we're getting it at every different angle. And you're absolutely right. I think it takes courageous people to stand up, and that's why I go on and talk. And thank you for the platform, because informing people that they need to know, America needs to know, and wake up and at least realize, listen, I know what's going down and what's happening down there. I know that this is happening, and being aware changes.
Yeah, I don't think we did anything that anybody wouldn't have done. We were just drunk and acting stupid at the fireworks and just happened to be there. Anybody that would have been there and the kid would have screamed, "I don't want to go with you. Where's my mommy?" would have probably been like, "What the fuck? Did he just? Where is his mommy? Who are you? If you're not his dad, where's his mommy?" Because it wasn't even like he's like, "Where's mom?" It was like, "Where is my mommy?" It was. I don't think we did anything that that anybody else wouldn't have done, for sure. I mean, anybody. It didn't have nothing to do with being in the military or training or anything. We just happened to be there.
There's a lot of it because now you can make a sound decision instead of saying, well, I hate Trump, and because I hate Trump, I'm going to vote for Biden. And not knowing what the consequence of that vote is going to bring. Now you're going to see it. And now you're seeing a lot of people that voted for him are like, wait a minute, I didn't realize that this was going to happen. Well, that's the problem, is that you didn't realize because you didn't, you voted based on emotion versus on reality versus on common sense versus on logic, which is I try to bring and I try to inform people, this is what's happening. The child trafficking is real. The human trafficking is real. I investigated, I worked it. If you think there's a doubt in your mind that this horrific, heinous crime.
So yeah, child trafficking is real. Trafficking of women is real. All that stuff is real for sure. The problem is the numbers that you attach to it, or the political leaders that you attach to it, solely because they disagreed with Trump once. So I know they've got to be doing this to children. We can't, that's not right.
Doesn't happen. I'm here to tell you that it does. I can't even share details of things that I've seen in my career because they're so horrific to even describe here. But it happened and it's real. And I have to live with those images. I have to live with those. But what was satisfying is to rescue a lot of those kids. And I know we could do it, and we could help by securing the border. That's where it starts. I mean, we could do everything you want to do, but if we continue to let that area down there continue to be open, it's never going to end.
To me, it all comes down to this, where these politicians land. You look at their moral compass, it's pointing due south. It always is. The simple fact is, I don't care what public policy that they consider themselves experts on, what economic policies they've got. It comes down to one factor, period. Human trafficking, child trafficking, sex trafficking. That's the only public policy right now that matters whether or not America survives. I believe it is because I know that there are obviously...
No, absolutely not. Not at all. Do you hear what he just said? The only policy that matters, and whether America survives or not, the only policy that matters at all is human trafficking. I agree, it's very important. I'm not sure that that's the only policy that matters. Come on, dude. What the hell's wrong with this guy? The only policy that matters. What about if they take away freedom of speech? What about if they take away the Second Amendment? What about if they take away your ability to leave your house without a government-issued ID card? And then they don't issue anybody the ID cards. Like, what? There's a lot of policies that could really fuck up America, dude. It's not just the only I don't care. The only policy that matters is trafficking. Yeah, of course, and that's an important one. It's not the only one. Come on.
The scenes, how traffic. Well, fact is, I don't care what, to me, it all comes down to this, where these politicians land. You look at their moral compass, it's pointing due south. It always is. The simple fact is, I don't care what public policy that they consider themselves experts on, what economic policies they've got. It comes down to one factor, period. Human trafficking, child trafficking, sex trafficking. That's the only public policy right now that matters whether or not America survives. I believe it is because I know that there are obviously operations going on behind the scenes to bring down this global empire, this Khazarian mafia, these cabal powers. We know that's underway. But at the end of the day, if they come in and save the day, what does that leave people with? What does that leave Americans with? What's that leave the world with? Because the fact is this: the challenge and the tragedy that we face right now is personal morality. The morality that will stand by and not speak up and say, call this what it is.
Yeah, I'm not saying everybody is, but there's a lot of people that focus. Like I know I've noticed a lot of people focus very strongly on children and then don't have children of their own or never did or blah blah blah. Sometimes you'll see it like when they're speaking like this or when they freak out like this, if they're like a public figure or whatever. Sometimes you'll see it when they later on in life they marry someone that already has kids. I've seen that within my own family, on my family side, and a distant relative. But there are people like that. I don't know if it's because they really want kids, they really love kids, they really blah blah blah, or some of them just got to be. That's a weird factor, right? Like a shady factor, something.
This is the focus of evil in the modern world. And the reality
Hey,
that
Geo, I don't care. None of that matters. It's only human trafficking.
we have not just people that are ignoring it and pretending it doesn't exist and are going to go on about their life every day because my life's good for me, going to go to my job, do what I do on weekends. But you have this.
Yeah, so this guy's a legit, he used to be Border Patrol officer, he used to run a bunch of different missions for different 3-letter agencies. The problem is he goes on shows like this a lot and kind of gives them a pass. He never says, well, no, I'm not asking him to be hostile or aggressive and be like, look here, fucker. He could just say, actually, my experience was a little bit different than that. What we actually did was this, and this. He gives them a pass too easily.
This faction that are perpetuating it on the left, the Democrat crime syndicate, and participating in it. But the fact that the American citizen, who massively outnumbers the scumbag political class, will not stand up and say anything or do anything, I can pretty much assume that you're not necessarily in the safest position in your life right now because you still live in the South. You live here, you know.
Oh yeah, we're getting so freaking close to 1,000 subs on the backup channel, which is a huge thing for me. Like, I've never been the fastest growing this or that, or hell, I couldn't grow at all on TikTok. I tried that for a while because it's like the new hip blah blah blah. I couldn't grow at all over there. It was just so fucking slow. I'm bad at it. But YouTube's always been steady, and I'm numbers this big on a backup channel make me feel good.
I live in the South, and you're marked. They have your number, brother. You know that. I know that. But you're still out here fighting this fight. What does that say about the rest of the country that will not stand behind Victor Ivey and say, we got your back. We've got the numbers. We got your back. This bullshit is going to end on my watch in this country at this time, at this date. We are going to stand up and say this brutal sodomy and rape of children, trafficking them, being allowed.
That's right, Goddess.
Scumbag politicians in D.C. It stops
You
right.
got to play the game if you want to keep selling your book and keep selling people coming to your talks and keep selling this and keep selling that.
Here right now, wherever I can get involved, I'm going to get involved. I'm going to back your play, Victor, because you're still putting your life on the line every day. And people can no longer just go home to work to home to work, doing what they do on weekends. Like, that really matters. And I've said this a couple of times. Thinking a nation can survive this immorality, this kind of brutality, that's like paying the cannibals to eat you last. That's right. You're going to get gone anyways. So there's only one way, is to fight the political class, fight these scumbags that are these mayors in these cities that are not only allowing it. Every time there's a roundup, there's a judge, there's a police officer, there's a top real estate agent, there's a mayor. We actually have a class of people in Washington, D.C., the sewer of the nation. You'll have a guy like Marion Barry, the mayor of D.C., caught in a hotel room, smoking crack with a prostitute, gets arrested, goes to jail. And what do? They elect a scumbag in as mayor again. You can't even make this up. This is not even a Steve Martin movie here. This is the United States.
And it's been happening. It's that revolving door that's been happening in New York and Chicago and these Democrat cities and states. And by the way, I address the sanctuary city policies in my book. And I know you're very well, because the sanctuary city policies is such a dangerous policy. The left will paint it as, it's because the illegal alien doesn't want to call the police because they're going to alert the immigration services. Listen, what it does is protect the bad guys. That's what it does. And it makes your neighborhoods even more insecure, because the illegal alien, if he gets caught and if he gets deported, when he comes back to that neighborhood. He doesn't come back to other places. He comes and lives there and terrorizes your children, rapes your women, your kids. That bad guy comes back there, aside from the U.S. citizens that they commit crimes against. And look at all the angel moms and angel dads in this country where they've been affected by illegal aliens, where they murder their family member either through drunk driving or a violent act. And so it doesn't make any sense that these sanctuary cities is a revolving door. Or they catch them, they're in jail. Don't call ICE. They get treated better than a U.S. citizen. I had a call the other day from a county jail. I won't say where, but it was from a county jail because of the new Biden administration. They had an illegal alien getting ready to come out of the jail. The jail actually calls ICE. ICE says, we can't go get him because of the new mandate by President Biden. He's not a priority. So then they call Border Patrol. Border Patrol is, we're under the same mandate. We can't do it. So they release him, but the guy's also positive COVID. They release him back in the streets. This is the craziness that I don't understand. Who does that benefit, Scott? Who does that benefit anybody? Does it benefit?
Yeah, we're all frustrated about that. That's an actual real issue that we could talk about. But
these hardcore criminals that as soon as they get released, they'll go kill somebody.
Hey, Beer Man, John at Frank brought you 5 6-packs. The more I hear these people, the more I think they are disinformation agents, deep state, anyone. Man, I've tossed that back and forth so many freaking times. And the whole, I think that this could be a possibility. And I'm not saying this is real, or you should take it to heart, or go worship it, or blah, blah, blah. But I personally think this could be a possibility. What if the Pizzagate thing was the test run? And they pulled what worked good from Pizzagate and what didn't work so well from Pizzagate. and rolled it back into a better, bigger exercise and called it this QAnon or whatever, and then started rolling agents out. You know, they spend fucking years and billions and years and billions and years and billions studying how to do a fucking psyop and get people to believe it. Like, it's not like it's impossible for them to do it. And then at that point, you would probably have some mixed real influencers versus plant influencers, and it would be hard to figure out which ones were which.
They go rape somebody, they go burglarize a home, they commit thefts. They continue to deal with drugs. It is out of control, and I would like to see that sanctuary city policies addressed. I know President Trump wanted to cut them with some funding, and somehow, because you need to do like a shock and awe with these cities and states, because they can look at California. They continue to do whatever they want to do over there, besides limiting people on where they can go and not go, and all the other stuff that's going on. But it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And I think ultimately it's the protection of the safety and security of our citizens that we need to feel safe, that our kids are going to go to school in a safe environment, that our kids are going to be able to walk safely down the street and not get picked up. By the way, there's been a record number of U.S. citizens now being trafficked. It's not just victims from other countries that are brought in. That still happens from Mexico, Central America, and Europe. But they've shifted also to where, you know what, we're going to find them online. We're going to go after these young girls or runaways. They look for the vulnerable ones and go pick them up. And then you see the thousands of missing children that are reported every day. They're being trafficked somewhere. And that's where the outrage should be. That's where everybody should focus their attention, because it could be, like you said, it could be, God forbid, one of our kids.
You know, the problem with modern day liberalism, okay, is that it always leads to death.
Tell us about it.
You can't go against the laws of the universe, and you can't go against the nature of man himself, because you're going to lose every time. So it's just a matter of time before, and liberalism leads to somebody's death. It's just a matter of time before that death starts washing up on the doorstep of the liberals that hold these policies themselves. And it puts me in mind of how the cabal was, all the cabal players, the governments around the country, Merkel, Hitler's daughter, Theresa May, all these other people allowing these Syrian refugees to come in, who are military age males. There's no women around. They have their certain, their religious code or whatever. And again, you're messing with nature. You got a young teenage kid that's horny. He's like got tons of testosterone. You and I know what that's like when you're young, and there's no availability of women. What inevitably is going to happen? You throw them in these cultures, they look and see these privileged, white people or whoever, and then the rapes start to happen. That's not an accident. When Angela Merkel was allowing these people to come in and do it, allowing 1 million, I knew right then and there, this is a planned operation. This kind of insanity is what's going to.
Are you beginning to see why Homeland Security is like, maybe we should keep an eye on these people? Again, I really, 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 really wish federal agencies didn't have any need to be monitoring what is information and what is disinformation. But there is one.
Going to take them down. Of course, they're finished. There's no recovering that. But the simple reality, if you look at how these conditions have been perpetuated by the left. And then I remember this girl in Holland, Sweden, wherever, a nice girl, again, it's always about the compassion. These people they're oppressed. We want to go in there, holding our big signs, let the refugees in, give them everything they want. They're burning the whole tent cities down because they're underprivileged. And her dad's a UN lefty. And what happens? While she's helping these people, 6 or 7 of them all brutally rape her half to death, and then they stab her to death, right? And then you say to yourself, what the hell do you expect? What do you think was going to happen?
Right.
We can't let that happen in this country. No. We, the people, are going to have to stand up, and they're going to have to face these scumbag politicians down and put enough heat on them and drive them out of office. And then, because what happens is this, it's like in the law enforcement community. Again, a lot of good people trapped in a bad system. And it's hard for one to step up and say, I'm going to make a stand, which means I'm going to lose my job, my pension, whatever. So until there's enough people in the population, in the citizenry, that starts bringing numbers to these city council meetings and putting massive pressure on these scumbags, until that happens, the police, the law enforcement agencies are not going to have the guys inside that know, like, this is bullshit and I'm sick of this and I can't do this anymore to the people. Then it'll recruit 2 or 3 or 4, or it's just like in any country that has a despot dictator, that where the people finally rise. And I use Romania often because Romania was the one time in the 80s when we had the fall of the Soviet Empire, which really was the Bolshevik Khazarian Mafia. It wasn't the Russians. It was the Bolshevik Khazarian Mafia.
Oh, God. The Khazarian Mafia is here, boys. Going after their religion.
Murder and chaos. But it isn't until someone like Ceausescu has gotten so far where the people show up at a gate of the palace, there's 100,000 there, everybody's quiet, because if you ever spoke outward, then you disappeared. Family disappeared, everybody's gone. Somebody yells in that crowd, and everybody thought, oh my goodness, they're dead. Who is it? Who's going to go? And then few seconds later, somebody else yells. And a friend of mine told me, because he was there, and you have this fever pitch, boom, it starts picking up like a riot. That whole energy field explodes. Everybody's in that energy field. And then they're, yanking on the gates. And eventually the guards see, like, holy cow, we got the weapons. There's like 30 of us. There's 100,000 of them. When that gate starts coming, what do? They turn around and they haul ass at high speed to get to that palace. And by that time, what is Ceausescu, the dictator, the coward, right? And his wife, what do? They're on the roof. They got the helicopter. They're all piling on. They can't even get off the ground because it's too heavy. So they start kicking people in the face who are hanging onto the skids, trying to lift off. Like, forget my friends. I'll kick you in the face. I want to get out of here. So what happens then? Then the military sees there's the tipping point. We don't like what's been going on here for a long time. There's a tipping
Oh, what do you mean the tipping point? Like your radio show?
point. So what do? They fly them 100 miles away, drop the chopper. They got a table set up, chairs. They set up a little junta there, and they judge, jury.
Hold on just a second. I hate to tell you this, but as a lefty, I can tell you these nutcases become the face of the right and how Trump supporters are seen. Can you blame them? I know they are. That's why I want to separate myself from them. I still consider myself like I'm pretty center guy, but I'm more conservative right wing than I am left for sure on a lot of topics. But I don't want to be bunched with them just because I voted for Trump. And that's what's going to happen. Enough of these people are going to go somewhere and pop off because they got mad about a video and then had a fight with their wife, then their dog got hit by a car and they're mentally unstable. And enough of people are going to go to enough places, either lone wolf style or in small groups, and there's going to be enough of that shit happen to where the federal government can easily push a narrative that says these people are dangerous. Look at what they're doing. Look at this. And of course they'll find some videos of the guys like screaming and yelling. They're going to kill everybody and this and that and blah, blah, blah. Once they can demonize a group of people, it's really easy to take rights and freedoms and stuff that we hold dear once you're demonized. It's pretty easy to do. The same thing we demonize people. The federal government demonizes groups of people all the time. And it's really easy to treat them as subhuman, even though 6 months before that, you'd have said, no, man, you can't do that to these people. Once they got the demonization running in your mind, you're like, oh, yeah, we got to, for the greater good. What about the children?
Executioner, they try him, convict him, put bullets.
That's right. The federal government wants that to happen.
Wearing like a fur coat, wasn't she wearing like their expensive? Yeah,
exactly. So what do? That's not going to be enough for the people. So what's the military do? Take them in town square. They hang them upside down by a rope with a rope and a tree. They're dead now, but they got to let the people take their frustrations out because of what they endured for all these years.
Yeah.
Now that doesn't need to happen in the United States because these politicians are chicken shit cowards. If Americans finally show up in numbers and start pointing fingers, and we got some good special operations guys that are retired who can stand up. And because once these guys stand up, like you, and say, look, I served my country. I served in foreign theaters, whatever SEAL team they were on, or, Air Force commandos, Marine recon Marines, Army Rangers. When these guys stand up and what they have done in leadership and what they've actually done in the battlefield, when they start pointing this out, people, in my opinion, line up behind them at these meetings, clap and say, yeah, because they're now courageous. Like, yeah, we're done with this bullshit too. And every one of these people, these worms will want to slither out of the room. They'll be scared shitless. And then you know what happens? Then they act. I've watched this in DC at the highest levels for decades, and that's what happens.
That's why they're so desperate in two things: defunding the police and taking our guns away, because they know that's one way they could overcome us. Mm-hmm. And look at when they started. Look at Austin, Texas. They took $150 million away from their budget, and look at the conditions that Austin is in right now. Look at these other cities that they funded the police, and all of a sudden, when the elected official are in trouble, who's the first one they want? They want the police. They hate the police until it's their time and their emergency when they need them. They want to get service, but they don't want the rest of the public to have it. And it is a huge issue that we have to pay attention, because those two big issues, the defunding of the police, which is the protection, they protect and serve for a reason. That's why they say that. If that goes away, and then in culmination with that, you take away the guns of the law-abiding citizens. By the way, you're never going to take away the guns from the bad guys. This is the part that I never understand. We want to do this and gun control because we want to protect. The only person you're protecting are the bad guys. The bad guys never follow the rules. That's why we have so many law enforcement officers killed in line of duty, because they hesitate because of all the shit they have to think about before they pull the trigger. All the administration, all the innocent bystanders, the bad guy doesn't have to think about anything. And that's why, especially if they have guns that are not going to be, enforced, but the law-abiding citizen, that's what they want to do. They want to disarm them and they'll give the bad guys only the opportunity to gain more ground on us. And so I agree with you there. It is we are at a crossroads. We are at a crossroads in our country where I like your statement. Wake up, and let's unite, because there's no other way around it. We have to unite. We have to challenge all these policies, all these legislation that they want to pass. I want to see. I'm really curious to see what's going to happen down the border. Somebody needs to step up here, Scott. Somebody. This cannot be ongoing for the next 2-3 years. It'll be over 1 million people by the end of this year if we don't do anything about it. 1 million illegal people that we have no idea who they are. We don't have any traction. We don't know if they're COVID positive for other illness.
Oh God.
Just like that cannot happen. That just cannot happen. We need to.
We can't keep if you have a legitimate topic or something that should be discussed, whether you believe it's right or wrong or indifferent, and you mix it with some of these crazier topics, you delegitimize all the topics. So the problem with these people, or running with these people, or doing this, or saying these things, or let's use an example. Let's say that I want to run for my local school board, and my narrative is that pizza should be served every day. And people are really getting behind me, and pizza should be served every day. The American people believe in it. The parents believe in it. The kids believe in it. Everybody wants pizza, 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 pizza. And I go into some of these other shows to talk about my pizza, and I end up on Mark's show. And me and Mark are talking about pizza. Then he also slips in some reptilians. Then he also slips in some aliens. Then he also slips in an invisible satellite base on the moon that's used for prison underneath invisible aluminum sheets developed by the Navy. And he introduces that our kids are being harvested and they're throwing air gas grenade bombs at us and trying to poison us with biological chemical weapons when they drive down our streets, and just a bunch of crazy stuff. And he continues that crazy stuff when I'm not on the show as well. Everybody might still like pizza. Everybody might still like pizza. But I've ruined the legitimacy of any of my argument, because the guy who wants to run against me, who may like pizza too, is going to say, oh yeah, what about these? Look what happened on this show you were on. What about this guy you was hanging out with? What's this guy say about pizza? Is pizza really your only concern? Okay, we'll see.
You know, there's one good case in point that brings me to mind about, look, the simple fact is this. These policies out of DC are crimes inflicted against the American people. These are crimes. These are criminal activities, unconstitutional, outright crimes on the American people. And when the American people say enough is enough, like I said, they back down. I was talking to Arden Bundy out in Las Vegas when I saw you. So when he was we were just screening to see Call to Freedom. So we were talking about it. He was right behind me. We were watching it in theater. So we talked about it. And so what happened out there? You had the criminal Harry Reid and the other scumbags that were basically taking over sovereign land rights from these people who've been grazing on us for 150 years because they had a deal with China to come in and get all the natural resources and just basically sell out America for a price tag. And so what happened? They had hundreds of ranchers show up on horseback. And this truly was going to be the standoff. It was going to make OK Corral look like Romper Room. And these guys were prepared. And these federal agents saw what they were dealing with. They were dealing with a bunch of armed ranchers, and they were going to make a stand and say, you know what? If it has to be, it's going to be right here. It's going to be right now. But this theft and these crimes perpetuated on the American citizen, they're either going to stop right here today, or it's going to be the ignition point where America finally revolts against these bureaucrats in DC. And I've come to the conclusion, in these federal agencies like BLM and these other enforcement agencies, it's quite obvious there are, again, a lot of good people trapped in a bad system. But there's a lot of bad people in those systems that actually get off on enforcing these crimes on American citizens. Yeah. So I have to ask myself, or the American people, how far do you need us to go? How far do you need to go before everybody pays a price? Nobody's going to escape this. At some point, the American people have to be willing to stand up at all costs and put an end to this bullshit from these bureaucracies and these criminals that are inflicting crimes, not just on us, but allowing these crimes to happen. So, today you're just a trigger point for the warning that's got to come to Americans, because again, at the end of the day, whoever that people think's going to step in and save us.
That's right, Dreamweaver. I'm glad you brought that up.
No problem. You guys really forked everything up here in the planet.
As soon as I come by the chat, as the first thing I saw.
Sodomized by these Satanists. What do you think Christ's going to do? Say, oh yeah, here's the glory, here's the promised land, here's 1,000 years of bliss. Really? You honestly think that Christ would say, you guys have earned that? It's done right here. Too many people have been sitting around for 2,000 years waiting for Christ to come back and fix it.
I don't know if extremism was that exact code word, but I do feel like that they were less worried about the military becoming, like someone in the military becoming an extremist, and more worried about if they had to stand up the military against some protests or riots or blah, 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 and they're standing down there in a picket line, are they going to be able to talk our guys into joining their side?
What we forked up. That's not the way ascension works. This is to be a spiritual being having a human experience and learning and growing from it and doing the right thing. We sit around and do nothing. Do we earn our way?
Spiritual being having a human experience and learning, growing being. I'm going to skip ahead some. We got more stuff to cover.
Plus also a witness, and wanted to get as much information, especially the children that were 8, 9.
Bobcat's 10, 11, anger problem. Well, that's good.
A little bit better what happened to them. And so a lot of child psychologists involved. There's a big broader picture than just the investigator myself. Sometimes I wouldn't even go into the interrogation room because they couldn't stand the sight of another male. And so they couldn't be with another male in the room. Forget wearing a badge or any type of insignia. I mean, I would, once it was allowed.
That happens a lot. From what I hear, now I'm not an investigator in these types of cases with trafficking and victims and blah blah blah. If their trauma involves every male they've ever seen because they were locked up and kept in a cage and blah blah blah. Of course, you got to have female officers. I mean, it's not like they're going to rip their hair out or take their eyeball out and swallow it, or But I'm sure they're not very comfortable. They don't want to talk. They might break down in tears. I mean, that'd be hard for them to face. A male would be intimidating entering the room at that point. If you want any information, you're probably going to need some females to do the interviews.
Out, and I would dress down,
or we could start using children.
Try to come in and talk to them, and more like a father figure, and make them understand and build a rapport that I was there only to help them. It is a challenge. One thing is to discover them.
The reason latching on to children works so well, the reason when we say, aren't you worried about the kids? And they've been doing it for hundreds of years. What about the kids? The children? This is family friendly. The children might hear those cursing words. The reason they've been doing it is because no one likes to see children hurt or injured or fed information they're too innocent to hear, or this or that. Of course not. Not even, I mean, it doesn't even have a thing to do with my kids. Of course, I'm more protective of my kids, but it wouldn't matter if we were going down the street and it was a random kid I'd never seen before and something was going on that ruined its innocence or hurt the kid or caused it some type of pain. Of course, I don't want to see that. I'm probably going to step in and get involved. So there's a lot of ways to solidify support, and also, this is just part of it, get donations. So it's usually an emotional thing. If you want to it's not usually an emotional thing. If I want to solidify viewers and constant support, it can usually happen 2 different ways. It can be you show up in my video, you kind of like it, blah, blah, blah. You go on about your life. 3 weeks later, you see another one of my videos pop up. You come in, you like a little bit more of it, and I said something funny. Then 3 weeks later, maybe I piss you off. You don't come back for a month. And it can be a long-term kind of getting to know me, liking my content, blah, blah, blah. Or it could be emotional. Maybe I made you laugh or cry or upset or mad or blah, blah, blah. And the emotional part is the fast track. The emotional part is the fast track to having people like you. So they're not funny. They don't have anything to stand on. They're not. I'm sure some people are crying for it, but they love to use anger. They get you angry, and they're like, "I can't miss an episode. What's going to happen to the kids in the tunnel?" It's like a soap opera. Like, you can't miss the next episode because what if they rescued a bunch of kids in a tunnel near me? Do you think the kids will ever get out?
And identify them. Another thing is to deal with them and treat them after the fact that you've rescued them, because it only starts there. They need a lot of attention after that.
So what would be your advice, given this conversation we had? I don't know if you ever had anybody interview you like this. I have one governor.
And I'm not even arguing that there's probably wealthy people on the face of this earth that are some type of wealthy and poor, but wealthy probably have an easier access, that have some type of weird fucked up fucking desire to kids and beating and torture and blah blah blah. I'm sure there is. The odds are in that favor that the number is greater than 0. The problem is if there's one of those and that person sits on our Congress and we call everybody who disagrees with our guy that word. We call everybody who disagrees with Trump is clearly a pedo. Everybody. Then the one guy who's actually doing that is nudging people's elbows saying, isn't this weird? These guys are crazy. They called us all a pedo guy. That's stupid. We're not pedo guys, are we? You just helped hide him in a sea of it.
It's like the throttle stays open until my frustration level after decades of watching this and walking away from the political realm of elected politics 15 years ago now and didn't get really mentally active again. I just come to a breaking point. the bullshit. So it's got to stop. The rhetoric, the scumbags, the politicians.
I want to wish my beautiful wife a happy birthday on your show. Happy birthday, Carolyn. Oh, I'm sorry, dude. If I would have seen that earlier. Happy birthday, Carolyn. I know I like to joke and mess with you, but I just didn't see it if you guys said something earlier. Very, very happy birthday to Carolyn. Carolyn's always in the show over on the Facebook page. She's very active in the show. She's one of the favorites over on the Facebook page for sure. Usually a top fan over there. Happy birthday, Carolyn.
The political class inside the police departments, whether the commissioners, they're all bureaucrats.
Rhetoric.
The ones that are the bad guys. There's definitely some wonder. I mean, I had Sheriff Mack on last week. I mean, how do you not see her, heroism in a lot of these people that are out there, the cops on the beat doing a job. But any of these people that are facilitating these policies, it is what they are. It's what they are. And until we define this enemy and call it out for what they are, they're scumbags. And these people have wormed their ways into positions of power that has led to an infliction of depravity on humanity that we have never seen in this country since the slaves were being treated like they were being treated. And at some point, I say people have to have a personal breaking point against this political class. My dad has said this to me for 20 years, and I hesitate to say this because we can't ever let this happen. But he said, I'm telling you right now, he said, there's going to come a day in this country where people are going to drag these political class into the street, and then what's next. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yeah, that's my dad's, he's a patriot, and he's just sick of watching it too. But I'll tell you what.
Thank you, Carolyn. I'm sorry I didn't pay more attention. I've been kind of out of it today, but thank you.
Americans have bred into us in our DNA.
And happy birthday, for real.
All of us were born into the right of a free
nation.
Just
for you, I'm going to skip ahead to the end of the video. Save you a little time with Scooter Man here.
Bless you and your family for what you've done. And all I can tell you is that until this ends, I'll be right there firing beside you. This doesn't end for me until this nightmare ends and these people are rounded up and either put into a box in the ground.
Of course, evil Israel.
Tunnel systems that they take over and make them live the rest of their lives out in it. But we're not going to stop until this scourge is actually dealt with. So much respect, much love to you and your family, much honor. And
thank you, sir.
We'll look forward to having you back on again.
We'll love to, and we'll definitely stay in touch, Scott. Thank you so much.
Okay, brother. We'll have to get together for coffee sometime.
For sure.
Okay.
So there's no doubt in my mind. We got another page of Street Fighter video, but obviously I'm going to skip around to something else instead of watching it back to back. But clearly, it doesn't take a real in-depth search. It doesn't take a whole lot of discernment. It doesn't take a research paper written in college format, and you have to cite all your sources to figure out why the Department of Homeland Security thinks that they need to address this stuff. Scott literally goes out on stage and says, hey, if the politicians want to step down and quit their job, we're going to smoke a pipe with them. And if they don't, we're going to hit them with the blade of war. And he flips over a sharpened tomahawk that he's carrying around. He makes a threat every time he appears somewhere. Like, clearly, they're worried about something. And I wish they didn't have to be involved. I do. I really wish that they didn't have any involvement in what is information and what is disinformation. I don't trust government agencies that much. I don't like the FBI setting people up. I don't like what the fucking shit the CIA does. Of course. But somebody's got to be there, or we're just going to have the fucking lunatics running vigilante groups running around just attacking whoever they're mad at that week. Hell, I probably would have been attacked by now. When Scott McKay said I was part of the deep state and this and that, one of Scott McKay's fans, I'm pretty sure, came over to my main channel today because I've seen him on Scott's. He's commented on 3 of my Scott videos, and he came over to the main channel today, and I don't know where this narrative came from, but I guess I can address it right quick. Let me pull it up. I have no idea where this rumor came from, but this would probably get me hit by the vigilantes, I'm sure. If no one was doing something, or at least monitoring it, keeping an eye on it, something's got to be done. So this is the comment I got. Damn, where'd it go? Yeah, this guy has commented on, which videos has he commented on here? He's commented on A Brand New Level of Crazy, Scott McKay, AK Patriot Street Fighter, POS, in memoriam of Mike the Frog, and 10 other videos that I've made. So he comes over all the time, and it's always Scott's doing this, and you're a hater, and you're a liar kind of deal. So he commented today, and I just found this weird. He hasn't commented in a while. He commented today, and he says, Maybe the reason you can't get along with anybody is because the way you choose to go after people in your videos, instead of doing an uplifting and helpful video channel. And honestly, there are other vets out there that have worse problems than yours and have no home out there with their families. Sure, I've never claimed that I'm the worst case of a veteran having disability. Obviously not. And there are veterans worse off than me, I'm sure. There's got to be. And then he said, and with their families, sure. And aren't you, listen, and while we're talking, aren't you the same person a few years back that did a video of yourself burning your uniform and the American flag? Please correct us all if we are wrong on that. So when he says, please correct us all, it makes me think that he's talking about like a group that they were discussing this in, which I did some searches on like Telegram and stuff, but I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. I know there was a video that was really popular in like 2015, a guy in Texas, I think, that burned his uniform because he got arrested for trying to tell some old lady she needed to leave his land. And then she falsely accused that he threatened her and beat on her and blah, blah, blah. And he kind of got railroaded because he had PTSD. That's clear, obviously not me. I can show you the video right quick, or at least a portion of it. It recently got popular again a few weeks or maybe a month ago. Is this video right here. We're not going to watch the whole thing, but see, there's his uniform hanging there.
My family's property. And I tried telling the lady to get off my property. And she wouldn't do it. She told me that she didn't
Do they think that's me?
Didn't have to. So I told the lady several times to leave. And the end of this whole story, she ended up calling the police. Lying to the police, telling the police that I threatened her life and chased her with a knife and told her I'd kill her. This isn't true.
I would say, I would honestly say, guys, I saw somebody talking about taking a while to figure it out. I would say at this point, a quarter to a half of my audience is probably people at one time, if they didn't full on believe, they'll at least say they were interested enough to be watching their shows until they heard somebody mentioned me on the frogs in a negative way, or Scott mentioned me in a negative way, or this person mentioned me in a negative way, and then that's how they got here. That's how I probably real close to a half of them. I've heard so many stories now. He has different glasses though. Put your hat forwards if possible. My bill's not that round, I don't think. I guess I could have put it straight. What the fuck is going on? It won't even go on straight. It doesn't go forward. It hates me. Oh, the glasses are not on straight. They're picking up my eyes sideways, so they're not on straight. So look at me. Can you see it, guys? That's a match. This is not me. This guy was interviewed a couple times by a few different people. What happened was, I'll just give you the rundown and we won't watch his whole video because I don't like watching it, honestly. Not that I think he did anything wrong. That's his uniform. He had the right to do that. But I don't like the story. I don't like the image. I don't like none of it. It bothers me. But what happened was, he was out on his land where he has a house, his dad has a house, I think his uncle has a house, like it's a family piece of land. And it's all private property, it's always been private property. And he walks out on the back porch to do something, and there's just some older lady walking around in his property. And he yells, "Hey, this is private property." And she blows him off. And then he says something else about this is private property. She blows him off again. So he walks over there to her and says, "Look, woman, you're going to have to leave." And she said, "You can't tell me where to go. I'm allowed to go wherever I want. I have permission from," and she names somebody that this guy doesn't know, and he knows it's his property. And he says it 3 or 4 times. And finally, he calls the cops. And when he calls the cops, he tells them that there's this lady here on my property, like she won't leave. I need her to be removed. It's private property. She's trespassing at this point. I've tried to get her to leave for like an hour. I've told her 100 and some times it's all private property. I can prove it's private property. It's right behind all of my family's houses, blah, blah, blah. And he hangs up, which he probably should have left the phone on, maybe. Then she wanders away, and he kind of stands at where he told the cops to come. He can still see her. She's not out of sight, but she's not where he can hear her anymore. And she wanders away and calls the cops and tells them that she was assaulted, and he pulled a knife and said that he was going to kill her, and he was shoving her around and shoved her down to the ground a bunch of times. And she's like an older lady, like up in her 60s. And he's like, I think at the time he was like 27, 28. He shoved her around and manhandled her and blah, blah, blah. Well, the cops show up, and of course he's upset about this lady on the land, and they come to him, and he's trying to point to them. They're more concerned with him, and that gets him more agitated, which I can understand with PTSD. He gets more agitated. They end up arresting him and taking him to jail, and the way he seems to make the way court went sound is that they basically said since he's got PTSD and diagnosed and blah, 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 that even though he's a decorated combat veteran, Purple Heart recipient, that he may have just blacked out and doesn't realize that he hurt this old lady on his land. And they ended up catching him with charges and fines, and she walked away scot-free. And he's very upset about that. He tries calling congressmen. He tries calling some of the military contacts. He doesn't know who to reach out to. The cops kind of have a... He makes it sound like the cops kind of have a thing for him and his brother from when they were young and in high school and did stupid stuff. But it's a bad setup. This just recently become viral again. Maybe that's why they're accusing me of being him. I don't know. Let's get over to this one. Oh, real quick. Here's your quick little news update. I'm gonna sneak in here. You remember how Brad got all freaked out the other day and said that Bill Barr's a rhino. We got to take him down. He's trying to do some Democrat shit here in Tennessee, and there's no way that any of us can. So you better not be supporting. If you're for Trump, you can't be for Bill Lee. He's a rhino. And Brad was like having a meltdown during one of his shows. Well, this come out today. Endorsement of Governor Bill Lee. Governor Bill Lee is an outsider who led the great state of Tennessee through difficult times without compromising conservative values. Tennesseans enjoy more freedom than ever before. He fully supports law enforcement, strong borders, the Second Amendment, military, and our vets. Re-electing Bill Lee means putting America first. Bill has my complete and total endorsement. That's from DonaldJTrump.com. A full, complete, and total endorsement. So we have that floating around out there. So I hope Brad's not too upset. He's gonna have to backpedal a little bit. How absurd. How absurd. All right, let's start here. I know you guys, this is the moment you've been waiting for. What's going on with our moon? Well, we better get to the bottom of it. That's all I can say. Sure, but girl. I honestly, and maybe, I'm telling you straight up, I'm probably biased because I was in the military, I have PTSD, and everything he's describing, I could see it happening to me. And I could see myself getting railroaded. Hell, I had the cops called on me in my own fucking house a couple times. By people who thought they were helping, not realizing that it's just as likely they show up and fucking tase me to death as it is they fucking help me if I'm like spiraling out of control with my PTSD. It doesn't matter. It's not a big deal. But I'm probably a biased person, but when I watch the video, I wouldn't believe him 100%. I'm not a good guy to watch that and say who's wrong or right. You guys can watch it and see what you guys think, and then maybe Google the case or something, and see what you think. I'm probably not a good person to figure out who's right and wrong in that scenario.
So that's all.
Oh, here we go, boys.
Broadcasting from the most confused, dumbed down, manipulated, and brainwashed nation on the face of...
Yeah, we're actually, I didn't want to reveal anything, but if you're here for the fruitcakes, I'll play the ad right quick. It's fine. But I've been trying to update the ad. What's up, Dreas? Hey, man. Dreas is from way back on the channel. Thanks for joining us, man. Anyways, I didn't want to play the fruitcake ad until I had it updated some, because we're actually coming out with a Moaf, which is the mother of all fruitcakes. The Moaf. It's actually a 9-pound, 6-ounce fruitcake, 17 inches long, And it comes complete with the umbilical cord because it's literally shaped as a baby that we just rescued from the dumps. Okay, the mother of all fruitcakes is coming out. I don't have the updated commercial yet, but you guys can watch this one. And now, time for an ad in collaboration with PSF. Hello, folks. It's Will here. In collaboration with PSF, I would like to bring you this special announcement to you in an uncertain time. I know that we're all looking for information.
That's true, Joel. I'll change it up next time.
On today's market is information. Where do we find this information? How do we interpret this information that we see? Well, one place that we can look to for this information is our fearless leader, Donald Trump. And we at PSF would like to do a service announcement to let you guys know how to decipher this information. Now, there's a couple things that we all know. When you see Donald Trump with silver hair, it's time to buy silver. Silver futures are going through the roof. It's time to buy silver, no matter what other commodities you own. Sell them, buy silver. This is literally someone of a higher power looking out for you. And we know, or we should know, when you see Donald Trump with gold hair, it's time to buy gold. Forget silver. Sell it all. Buy gold. It's going to go up. You're going to make money. And physical gold and gold futures, buy gold when you see gold hair. It's pretty simple, but there has been a confusing time for us patriots out there. That time would be when you see Donald Trump with orange hair. What do we do when Donald Trump has orange hair? Think about it, folks. It's not that complicated. When you see Donald Trump with orange hair, I want you to think PSF. Orange, oranges, tangerine, fruit, right? PSF. Everybody knows that PSF stands for Patriot Street Fighter, but it can also stand for Patriot Street Fruitcakes. Make sure you invest in fruitcakes, physical fruitcakes, fruitcake futures, fruitcakes for your neighbors, fruitcake ingredients. When you see orange hair, when you see the fruit of orange hair, you think PSF. And never forget, Patriot Street Fighter is a fruitcake. Thank you for joining us for this public service announcement. PSF is fruitcakes, is not associated with Cold Beer Confessional in any way, shape, or form. Please be advised, we cannot condone any activity done with fruitcakes, any money lost because of fruitcakes. If your neighbors hate fruitcakes or you're allergic to fruitcakes, all we know is that Patriot Street Fighter is a fruitcake. Thank you for joining us. All right. Appreciate that and the 38 cents they pay me. When the mother of all fruitcakes comes out, I think we're actually going to get the pay increase that we've been wanting for. We're going from 38 cents to 38.5 cents each time we play the ad. I appreciate Scott being so generous. You know, he hasn't made a dime off any of his merch ever. What a generous dude. Yeah, Dreas, we're on the other channel's got like 5,000 or something subs, but we're on the backup for a 2-week ban. I think I got 7 or 8 days left. Here we go.
To the planet, bringing you news and information they hope and pray you never hear. This is the One Republic Network.
And there's no sound on the other one, so that's awesome. Dun, dun, dun. Well, that's okay. It's Friday the 13th, and
wasn't her major criticism of me is that I can do everything on a live stream, but she can too. She just chooses not to. Then every time we've watched her show since then, her audio's been fucked, her video's been fucked. She can't get the things to pop up. She doesn't know what's going on. She can't work the call-in line. She can't do anything. I think you jinxed yourself there, Kelly.
Man, I have been having the shittiest, most weird things happen all week long. I got a nice gouge on my hand, which this is a lot of fun with my mouse, and cuts there and a cut on my rib. I decided to do a 360 on my deck stairs and go tumbling down the other day. And that wasn't the puppy's fault. It was my own. I'm a klutz.
Where's the puppy?
She's sleeping in the back. She'll be coming out in a little bit. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm trying to get that on a schedule has been quite interesting.
I know.
So I'm
a little bit of dogma going on, I think. What was that? Crucifixion wound.
Giant vase. I was feeding the freaking lizard. and dumped it on my foot, and it's bleeding and on my other leg. And then I decided I was going to water my plants, and I should have thought twice about that. And I literally had a cascade of water coming down my bookcase this morning. Awesome. So if
That's
Friday the
water.
13th needs to turn the fuck around for me. So I'm hoping.
What if the test came back? What if the test came back and it just said inconclusive? Take your own chances. 50-50.
that my 3 are done, and that Carol, who sent me something this morning and put a smile on my face in regards to Friday the 13th, because I didn't even realize it was Friday the 13th until I woke up and I was setting everything up and I was like, shit.
Oh, yeah. By the way, today's Friday the 13th. And also Carolyn's birthday. I think that is no coincidence whatsoever. I've been feeling this impending doom. Clearly, it's a flashback to my previous life, the day she was born. And I knew what it would mean to the future of my Facebook channel. After 3 beers, I'd take those off. Bucka. You got a message? Oh, no message. Bucka paid $20 into the ties for the Cold Beer Cult. Thank you very much, Bucka. I appreciate it. Bucka's been out and about, had stuff going on. I feel bad for Bucka and a couple more people on the channel that are over in the country that doesn't exist according to Flat Earthers, Australia. That is, there's a bunch of shit going on. Military running around, decontamination tents. Whew.
You know, usually the negativity that you have from the 13th, you're like, no wonder. Now it makes all sorts of sense. But, you know, I think it's along with the PMS and everything else. It's just not my week, people. So today is one of those days. But Friday the 13th, this was really cool.
Yeah,
I bet.
Before patriarchal times, whatever. Friday the 13th was considered the day of the goddess. It was considered a day to worship the divine feminine that lives in all of us and to honor the cycles of creation and death and rebirth. Friday the 13th was considered a very powerful day to manifest, honor, creativity, and to celebrate beauty, wisdom, and nourishment of the soul. The number 13 also holds an extremely potent feminine energy and is considered to be the number of death and rebirth, creation, fertility, and blood. This is because we have 13 moon cycles every year, and the average female also experiences 13 periods every year. Well, yep, that suits me today since I'm dealing with all that shit.
13 moon cycles every year, 13 periods every year.
So what do you got on the 13th, Jay? And hello, happy
well,
Friday, sir.
it's funny you should mention the 13 moon cycles. In certain years, it's only 12 moon cycles, but this year it's a 13th moon cycle. Remember we were talking about the
really, Jason?
The Celtic the calendar.
The Toothless Wander.
Yeah.
Remember, that's something
that's
different.
the 13. Because you know how it would go like 12, 12, 12, and then like this year is a 13. They have a 13 lunar 13
lunar cycles is what you're talking about.
Lunar cycles, yeah. And that's in direct correlation with the PMS.
Yeah.
Because
lunar cycles are counted by how many full moons we have. So basically, the way this, I don't know how he's fixing to explain it, but the way it happens is instead of taking exactly 30 days for the moon to go from full moon to full moon to full moon, the same place it started, the same size it started. It takes, instead of taking 30 days, it takes 29 and a half. So if you add up all those cycles, it only comes to 354 days, not 365. So, or 366 on some leap years. So almost every 2.5 years, we get a 13th full moon is seen about every 2.5 years is the way the number wakes up. Same thing, same way we do like a new year and shit like that. It happens about every 2.5 years. So I mean, hell, it's already happened, you know, since Trump was in. I don't know why this would be anything special. It's usually called the blue moon, by the way. The 13th full moon cycle is called the blue moon.
that's what the yeah. So
Like,
women, once the moon is gone, the moon is your enemy.
Well, I'll tell you, you know, you and I watched the...
What? What'd you just say? This is where I got he just slips over this. This is where I got the whole name for the show. I think this is a very interesting piece to dive into.
That's the 13th, because you know how it would go like 12, 12, 12, and then like this year it's 13. They have a 13
13?
Lunar, 13
lunar cycles is what you're talking about.
Lunar cycles, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
Lunar cycles, yeah.
that's in direct correlation with PMS.
Yeah,
Because that's what the
That's in direct correlation with PMS? Who's PMSing?
Motorcycles is what you're talking about.
Motorcycles, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's in direct correlation with the PMS.
Yeah,
Because that's what the yeah. So
Like,
women,
you can
once the moon is gone, the moon is your enemy.
Well, I'll tell you.
Once the moon is gone, the moon is your enemy. Skull and bones, skull and bones. 3223. Praise Trump.
You know, you and I watch what happens outside a lot. Well,
The fuck does that even mean? Once the moon is gone, the moon is your enemy? Are you trying to get us to fight the moon?
the other day, it wasn't yesterday, maybe it was the day before. Anyways, there was a crescent.
Same, Yori.
Reddish orange, and it was right in line with those stars that you know that I have that pattern above my house. It was right directly in line with it, and I'm like, this is not a good sign. This is just not a good sign for me. We'll see how that rolls.
Maybe they're like,
I really don't care who's mooning me, okay? GS. I don't really care. No matter who's mooning me, I'm gonna go over and dip a little rudder in the water, if you know what I mean. See if I got the old steer left, steer right going on. We'll see if it works. Sometimes the controls get reversed.
Dorothy Hamill meets Steve Irwin. Friday. It's like, shit. There's the 360 that landed. Here comes the lizard, and shit. Well.
What? Whoa. What just happened?
In line with it, and I'm like, this is not a good sign. This is just not a good sign for me.
So her period is synced up with a special blue moon ceremony that she's going to do with the blood of her period and all the pets around her house.
We'll see how that rolls.
Maybe they're like, Dorothy Hamill meets Steve Irwin.
Dorothy Hamill meets Steve Irwin.
It's like, shit.
Right on today.
We'll see how that rolls.
Maybe they're like, Dorothy Hamill meets Steve Irwin. Friday.
Oh, Friday.
There's the 360 that landed. Here comes the lizard, and shit. Well.
There's the 360. It landed. Here comes the lizard. Well, shit. What?
Friday. It's like, shit. There's the 360 that landed. Here comes the lizard, and shit. Well, you tried.
Yeah.
And what can you do? I mean, I've messed myself up quite a bit too. So
yeah.
It's yeah. Oh God, yeah.
How
Especially as a kid. I was an idiot.
Oh, I see what you're talking about.
Well, I was a big kid too at work and stuff like that. Just doing dumb stuff.
I would agree. You have
coffee mugs too, so I'm down to my.
You have definitely messed yourself up since you were a kid. I did too, but I think I am the guy who talks about the glory days in middle school and high school. You are the guy who went and Michael Phelps that motherfucker. Like you're on a different level of methamphetamine allegedly.
Idiot.
Oh, I see what you're talking
Well,
about.
I was a big kid too at work and stuff like that. Just doing dumb stuff.
Oh, and I broke like 3 coffee mugs too, so I'm down to my crappy ones.
If we could shave Jason hairless, this is just a plan I just come up with. If we could get Jason Q to be hairless, he already looks like a kind of small guy. And then we could convince the deep state cabal, lizard people, higher up black hats, that he was a child and get him abducted. Hairless Jason Q, dressed as a child, get him abducted. Maybe he's walking around like a sucker or something. Get him abducted. Then, when they bring him to the special satanic ceremony that they have in the White House every weekend, and they feast on his flesh, everybody knows reptilians overdose on copious amounts of methamphetamine. No? Yeah, of course. It's hydrophobic. It'll dry out all the water in their system. They're sealed up like a green bean. It'll suck them dry from the inside.
Ooh. You need coffee mugs?
Yeah, but I'm picky.
I got a ton of them I can send you.
I like the big ones that I can put like a half a pot in per cup. You know, I have 2 cups in the morning.
It's like a whole pot. It's like,
it is a whole pot. Yeah. I don't like the coffee for the caffeine. I like the honey and the cream, and I just like that nice warm morning thing to drink. Caffeine, I don't get any caffeine from it. I'll tell you, I've got a new product I'm trying though, and I am loving it. It is giving me a lot of energy, and I feel really good. And it's doing some other things. I'm going to talk about it here. Hopefully next week, I'm going to try a few more things with it first before I disclose everything about it.
Is
Awesome.
that the thing you were talking to me about?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's fantastic though, and if it keeps doing what I
He's
think,
like a child. Like he could not hold that question until the end of the show. She said, I don't want to talk about it until I try some more. Is that what you're going to tell me later? How about I just give them 2 hints? Let me tell them what it starts with.
I'll share it with everybody because it has a lot of benefits for the body and many different facets. So into that too.
It'll help me stick that landing. I mean, I'm all in. You're like, damn it, shut up.
So
but yeah, this.
I read
this week's been a really weird
it's
week.
Weird week. It's a very weird week. I don't know. I'm just off, but we're working on it. Something that was a little weird though. I've been getting a lot of people sending me some information regarding things they're noticing in their local communities or their stores. So I went to Costco yesterday and I noticed some weird things there as well.
Please don't tell me you went full on. Wall Liberty Warrior Mart.
I wanted to get some last minute items just for, shit going down because, crazy prepper like that. Anytime I go through something, I want to replace it. So a lot of stuff was on sale. Like normally you go through Costco and you've got these items and, they give you a list of things that are on sale. But I'm talking when I'm going down each aisle individually, like half of the items were on sale. Now, that was odd. And then in all of the like chicken and meat product area, they had these giant pink things that said DNI. And then they also have now numbered each of their little square sections. Now I can understand inventory.
Yeah.
I can think about that. But this isn't the inventory that's interesting. The inventory that's interesting is that I'm getting wind from a lot of different people that, of course, we all know there's a lot of issues going on with shipping. Not just in general shipping, like even the trucks that need the parts to do the shipping are not getting the parts to fix the trucks. And also in Connecticut, they are changing all of like the codes and the labels on all the products. And supposedly the distribution centers and the owners of the companies are holding back on restock.
Get ready for G-Sara.
They have like gone through the inventory that they have. And this is word from people that are actually working there as well.
It's weird.
There is some strange stuff coming on. And some of the regular label things are all coming out with these new labels, these new barcodes, there's a transition, there's a change happening here. And some people think that it may be that they're wanting to get rid of the items that are on their shelves so that if we go into this 10-day hiatus, they aren't losing all the product because nobody's going to be able to come in. Or if they're doing some kind of a switch on
it's got some kind of hole in it, yes.
Shipping issue, and that's where distribution situations are coming
X39 with wings.
Things that are occurring.
X39 for heavy days.
Yeah.
Patriot Pant Crapper. Just me or Jason Q confused, like he never shopped. Yeah. Well, he goes to the store all the time, but it's to assault people and steal their receipts so he can take them home and do a decode on them, allegedly.
Especially everything being on sale. I noticed that too.
You noticed that as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't repeat that one.
There was stuff at Costco yesterday that I have never seen as cheap as I saw it. So I picked up some things just because I'm like, holy crap, this is like half its normal price.
Yeah.
This is weird. And it was like laundry soap. Like there were some odd things, not just like your regular run of the mill, like, oh, they're trying to, get rid of this stuff because it's getting close to the expiration date. That's not what it was.
Yeah. One of them was laundry soap on this end too. And I'm like, well, I might as well get it. I'm like, didn't even come here for that, but yeah.
Yeah. I went to go get a couple cases of canned things and restock up on some milk and some half and half and some, random things, but
it would technically make sense. I was talking about this to someone else offline about this. If Kelly was with Jason to kind of keep him on a narrative or a motive or a section as if she were a handler that he didn't even realize he had. And those few times where Jason blew up and like kicked off the old man and was having a couple bad weeks and freaked out a couple times and yelled and cussed and screamed, then all of a sudden Chili shows up and starts living with him. Strange.
Something strange is happening right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Maybe
Marty McFly.
Trying to, get rid of the bad stuff so they can bring in some new, healthier things. That would be fantastic. But that's not the gut. Not what the gut's telling me.
Is it still super expensive to eat healthy? I remember like when I was a kid, when I was in high school and played football, we had like a nutritionist that worked with me. I was a pretty decent football player, like nothing like crazy or going to like a 1A division school or whatever. We had a nutritionist. And of course, I've always believed that like a lot of that shit, like no pesticide free and free range and shit's better for you. But it was like stupid expensive to eat like the healthy version versus the regular version of food.
No. That's no. Weird.
Do you notice anything at Home Depot? Just checking. I know that's your favorite store.
Man.
Well, you've had quite a busy week.
Places like Target.
I don't shop there anymore. I don't shop there. I don't shop at Walmart.
No, yeah, Target. You go in.
Definitely. I don't
know. $100. But over there, you're just like, oh, look at this and that and this, that and this looking yard. Some flowers. No, don't get flowers. Then.
So yeah.
Jason Q called last week Boom Week. It was going to be the most important week in Donald Trump's entire presidency. Nothing happened, and now he's afraid to call anything else Boom Week.
Something quite interesting. Before we got on here, you said that you happened to notice something happening.
Still
in your-
3 times the price.
Ooh, a lot of Black Hawk helicopters.
Were they flying over your area, or?
They were zippity doo dah all the way to the city, and got some friends in the city that told me that they actually sent me pictures of these. They were doing surveillance. They were like circling the city.
Really?
Yeah.
They didn't land anywhere or anything. They were just kind of circling the area.
Not that he saw, but he was only there for not that long. So, they were there. They're
Holy shit! Damn it! You didn't have to do that.
It's
I know
my
you-
fucking birthday.
That's right, Carolyn. Thank you very much. $25 from Carolyn. It's my fucking birthday, and one right after that. You must have donated at the same time.
For the house or moving expenses. Love you guys.
Thank you very much, Tara. You didn't have to do that. I know you're still feeling under the weather. And thank you very much, Carolyn and Mark. It is your birthday. Happy birthday again. I hope you're really enjoying it. You only got what 39 minutes left. Thank you guys both.
And like
Appreciate
it. You see it like line. Because what they do is they go up the lakefront. Because then they fly
Too
low,
kind.
low, and, below radar, below deck, and you see them just zip right to the city. They follow the lakefront because they'll take it right there.
Interesting.
Y'all timing it out together?
Yeah, they're not like they said, it's a hot month. So there's
It's a hot month where nothing happens except meat goes on sale.
I mean, like a
super hot month.
That was a little.
It's the meat sale month.
It's a 3-day shot.
A symposium.
There you go. More beer, less food.
Sure it is. But we just call
I do really, 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 really need to get back in a respectable shape.
what it is. It's it's pretty much verifying our shit having to do with 9/11.
How so?
Because what it is never mind. Get it right here. So what happened was now pull out the big boy.
You're bringing out the calendar.
Big boy. So as we see, well, I mean, I don't know if
From
you
what you
can
can see.
but you can see Kelly.
Yep,
See Kelly?
a direct reflection right there in the
Yeah,
screen.
see?
God, she's
So,
painted.
I know.
There you go.
So right here, August.
Yep.
We see ya.
So you see, yeah.
Let's do something
August
else.
10th through 12th, 2021, right?
We don't want to only see you do nothing. That's kind of.
It starts on a Tuesday, right? What's on Tuesdays? Everything big starts on Tuesdays. All things big start on Tuesdays. So we have 10th, 11th, 12th. Now, if we were to add those 3 days up as whole, 10 plus 11 plus 12, what do you get?
33.
You don't say. Yeah, about that. So, what if we were to say that?
Hey, got in late, been out a few weeks, so you're set in your new house. Looks like the one you had to leave. Hey, good job, or getting out, or set back up. Who's the tweaker?
That is exactly 19 years and 11 months from another event.
Main channel's got a strike against it.
Similar makeup of that.
Yeah, what was the name of that one? I can't remember the name of
The
it.
Global Guardian War Games of September 10th through 12th, 2001. So
It is Carolyn's birthday. Thanks for letting me know, guys.
Frank's speech,
Appreciate it.
right? Now, why he calls it Frank's speech? Just think about it. His name's not Frank, right? But
That's what I heard at the symposium. That it's already done for. They're gonna announce it on Telegram on Wednesday or on Monday. Telegram is gonna be the official outlet that's gonna get the scoop that Orange Man Rad,
who is?
and
Frank
he's
Devlin.
back.
Are we talking about Frank Devlin?
Mm-hmm. The guy like in Mexico. Well, the guy that was tied.
Yeah, the guy in Mexico. Yeah, the guy was he was tied to remember I made a deal with the Devlin, and that was Tommy Mottola's Thalia.
I appreciate that, Geraldine. Your channel makes me laugh all night long. Life is stressful enough. Yeah. A lot of people come on here and they're like, I can't believe you do this, or you hate them, or why do you hate them? No, I'm just making jokes most of the time. And when I say this isn't true, that's what I've researched and come to the conclusion of, that you're you're moving the numbers around or just lying. Like when he come up with a picture of the flat Earth. Sure. No, I appreciate it. That's what I'm here for, to make people laugh.
The what do they call it? The queen of the novelas of the soap operas.
Oh, yep.
Queen of the soap operas.
Mhm,
They kept on calling her, like Queen Midas and all this other shit.
Mhm.
Well, for her, it's like, remember they said watch the wives too.
Always.
So now when you think about wives, it's like, well, when we think of watching wives, is it because they're dudes too? Could be. Or is it because they're the ones that are running everything? And since they are within that inner circle of the Mothers of Darkness, that it's like, hey, seriously keep an eye on them. Because out here, their main goal is to give women no respect and no, like, they treat them like dogs. I mean, think about how they do it overseas, right? How they have the woman, even with children, the male children, the mother or the woman have to walk like 10, 15 feet behind even the children, the male children. It's like, it doesn't make much sense. But then when you think about it, it's like, well, it's like they punish her for giving life. Maybe not because they have a son, but if they have a daughter, they're probably punished for that. I wouldn't doubt it. They're, I say, it's not being just a total complete jag off.
That's I don't know if that's within your realm, man.
I don't think so. I don't think it is. But here we go.
Give it a
try. When you got a bunch of people in there fucking go.
Let's see if he can do it. How do I say this without being a complete jack off? Let's see if he can do it.
I don't think so. I don't think it is. But here we go.
Give it a
try. When you got a bunch of people in there fucking goats and all that. Let's face it. That's what they do. But then you have like this huge, massive influx going to Europe and everything. Where did all they come from? Remember, we mentioned it before.
Yeah, you've talked about it many times.
It's about the whole cloning and everything, because we were brought up in a chat last night, or I don't know what happened, what it was, but it was
what?
Yeah, about the whole cloning and everything, because we were brought up in a chat last night, or I don't know what happened, what it was, but it was I'll have to pull it up. But that ET, he mentioned us, and who else was it? There's another person that sent us some love.
Sending us all this love, flat Earth love.
So with Lindell, now you mentioned the whole 9th. August 9th is the calm for the storm, right? Mm-hmm. Everything, 8/9/2021. So you have 17, 8 plus 9, 17. Then you have 21, 777. Now here comes 8/10, right? For day 1, Tuesday. Here comes the storm. Cuomo resigns, right? Now, when we talk about the storm,
he's going to resign in 2 weeks, but
yeah, and the funny thing is and that's on the 2-week Wednesday, so we know what that day is. And in fact, there's some.
I kept hearing stuff like that, Shady J, but I couldn't find any proof of it that he was attacked, and then I heard that it was hacked a bunch of times, and all the stuff that always follows him around. Who the hell knows? There's so many fucking things that follow him around all the time. Who knows what's even true? But I did hear that he claimed to be assaulted on, was it the second day or the last day? I think
somebody else that shares that birthday.
Oops.
Rothschild.
Really?
Yeah, the shithead. The asshole that, the one that's supposed to walk out of the temple.
Right.
He turns 43 this year.
David, we're talking about.
Yeah.
For some reason I can remember that name.
Yeah. Think about Starve David.
Yeah, is it really?
Which David?
Touche.
See? They never mention. You say Starve David all you want. How many Davids you know? I know a few. Well, we got a bunch of them on our friend list. It's like, yeah, we know a bunch. We know a bunch of Daves. Dave's out here, man.
I was thinking like in my personal.
Tons of Daves. Honestly, all the Daves.
Yeah, that's. I don't know.
Well, that's in Montana though, so it's not like there's like a per capita.
Too many Daves.
Massive,
I know, low population, lots of land. Yeah, I'm glad that Cuomo's dropping down.
Nope.
It's not in the fashion I'd like to see him go down, and not for the not for the cause.
Yeah.
I'd rather see him go down for the deaths that he imposed upon the seniors.
And I think that's why they did it to him. That's why they tried to create this smokescreen to take heat off that.
Well, they like to hide things for the true reasons. So for the public safety, I got to fly. It's driving me insane. I'm thinking I'm gonna grab my swatter. I might start killing.
I was gonna say, I'm like, if that fly was gonna make you budge, say you were a robot, cyborg, or whatever. But then again, a cyborg was stuck.
That's the thought that came to my mind as soon as it landed on me. I'm like, yep, he's gonna go right there.
Yep, that's it. Like lizard. But so Lindell says that we have a red team here, and I'm like,
lizard.
You just did not say that.
And then he got assaulted on the way to the hotel. And that
by
was kind
Antifa.
of the order.
Oh,
right?
I guess she's going to talk about it. I don't know if there's video or if it's just said and has witnesses or if it's just him that says. I have no idea. I said, what WTF, can somebody send me some info? And I didn't see anybody that actually, they were just talking about it.
Oh, I didn't hear who did it. That's great that you found something else. I have not been looking as much as I need. But, I saw the red team comment, and then literally later that day, I saw that he was assaulted. And I'm like, well, that team obviously did good, man. How do you not have a bodyguard? I mean, they had threats weeks beforehand. How was he not? That's the thing that I don't understand is how.
777 Skull and Bones. Holy shit, Batman. Will get out your big ass phone and call someone. I do it with the big ass phone. It doesn't call for big ass phone yet.
Did that situation really go down? That he was in a situation where he could have been assaulted without a massive amount of people around.
That's awesome, Brian.
Well, the whole red team, there's a big issue with that.
Okay.
The red teams, those are the teams that actually performed the man-in-the-middle attacks on 9/11.
There's no video. His wife didn't even know it happened standing next to him. Sounds about right.
Benghazi. Mm-hmm. And what it is that, say you have, let me draw it out because it's much easier when draw it out. If they did the same thing at Columbine, same thing at Parkland. It's like your bread and butter, right?
Apparently, everybody keeps hearing about it, Scott.
Okay, so say like at Parkland, okay? Say a cop and a teacher, right?
Correct.
Now, you think the teacher is calling the cop is talking back to the teacher, right? But what if there's a man in the middle?
Because I got it sped up so we can watch more of it in less time.
Okay, so now you have the cop.
Oh, you posted something for it?
Right? So what it does
I'm in the wrong
it
call.
essentially brings it.
Let me see what this is, because I was really interested in it. I just didn't. I had no desire to search for it. Or I had other stuff going on or something.
Hello,
Let's check it out.
Everybody, please, you got to listen to this.
Sorry if that hurt you. I didn't realize how loud it was.
We've had last night. I'm going to just start with the list of things that happened. So at 10:30 last night, Tina Peters, another guy with her that's here, his house got raided, 4 children, and his house got everything taken, all electronics and everything. Last night when I got to the hotel, I was attacked, and Phil, here we're going to talk about where we're going today.
But wait. So last time there was an event and someone got attacked, it was a guy making an aggressive toast and calling General Flynn a grifter. Was it that type of attack, or did someone actually physically attack you? Because that wasn't an attack. Then some guy comes out and body slams him or whatever.
In light of this, so Colonel, go ahead.
So in addition to the red team, we started receiving credible threat warnings about 2 weeks ago. So we've had a close team. Close team is what we call somebody's working in the crowd and detecting threats. So we detected disruptors inside, trying to get people ejected. Really radical folks outside trying to penetrate. We've got folks exchanging badges in the parking lot, press badges specifically. We've identified those agitators and provocateurs by photo imagery validated their social media platforms. We've got attempts to take your personal information by some of these folks shoulder surfing. So if you're on your cell phone or your laptop, they're coming behind you and taking imagery.
Oh no.
The big
should have done that.
The big end game is to discredit all the legislators who have had the courage to be here to listen, to try to hear what was presented. They're obviously trying to subdue the message that Mike's trying to get out. So this is a typical insurrection type activities. This is part of the color revolution. I've been briefing about this since early last summer, last spring, what was happening to our country, and it's made to divide America. And again, the whole point of this conference is to unite America. This is to unite the American people. And we made the conscious effort. We made the conscious effort not to eject those people. Because we want to, whatever their
Stand by your principles, at least.
we want to get the message out. So we know who you are. We've got your photos, and whatever happens after the fact, that'll be up to the Lindell organization. We also
I don't know what kind of troll that was in chat. Clearly, everybody knows I'm not in a wheelchair.
received credible information.
That's just a joke that we like to get Tony with.
On a threat in the data streams. There was a supposedly, allegedly, credible threat that there was a poison pill inserted into the data. And all of you cyber guys for sure know about the AT&T 911 issue. Someone disseminated all these, his buddies.
Said it's been a while, but he didn't know who Jason Q was. Then he took some shot about, I don't know, being wheelchair bound, I guess. That's Tony's shot. That's reserved for him.
He's uploaded the data, and they were warmly received, just like the gentleman last night. All their electronic devices were.
Oh, that makes more sense.
And had we disseminated that without parsing that and finding that before it's sent out, it could have put a lot of people at risk, and mostly the credibility of this. So this information is being handled in accordance with the Cybersecurity Act of 2015. This is an executive order by the President of the United States, number 13636, 78 Federal Regulation 11739, the U.S. Cybersecurity Act of 2015, and PPD 21. There's several other executive orders. This information will be turned into the NCIC. This information will be shared with the global directors and officers of the Information Sharing and Analysis Organization, who are authorized to receive this information to process cyber threat information on behalf of
the US
government and the U.S. people. So that's how this information.
NCIC, and it's going to the IACS or whatever.
Federal organizations.
You're submitting the information
to protect this country. We'll see what they do with it.
In other words, I'm giving this to the team, that data. So.
Uh-oh, what's this part?
If Kendra come up and pray for our nation and pray for this.
Oh, it came out on day one?
Good morning.
For some reason, I thought it was towards the end. Maybe I just heard it at the end of day two.
God is faithful. We look to God. We look to
I
God.
didn't keep up with it very well. I didn't think there'd be shit there.
The frogs taking naps in the lobby.
He is our everything, and He's got the plan. And His plan will supersede all evil. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Y'all pray with me, please. Father, in the name of Jesus, God, I praise you. I worship you. I say you are the way maker. I say that there is nothing too difficult for you, God. With man, this is impossible, but with God, all things are possible. So God, have your way today. Lord, we pray, let your will be done. Let your kingdom come to all of this.
We're going to skip her prayer.
You are the Lord of hosts. We praise you for truth. And it's on behalf of, it's going to say me, but it's all of us, or I'm going to say us. Contend, O Lord, with those who contend with us. Fight against those who fight against us. Meaning people that want truth, meaning people that that want your will, God. This is what we're saying. Father, in Jesus' name, fight against those who fight against us. Take hold of shield, of buckler and shield. Rise up for our help. Draw also the spear and the battle axe to meet those who pursue us. Say to our soul that you are our salvation. Let those be ashamed and dishonored who seek our lives. Let those be turned back and humiliated who devise evil against us. Let them be like chaff before the wind, with the angel of the Lord driving them out. Let their way be dark and slippery, with the angel of the Lord pursuing them. For without cause,
Is this still the prayer?
in the Lord, wicked and the needy would come forth. You would repay, God. Trust you to bring name. I
I
pray.
don't want to steal her prayer for my show, but man.
Strategy.
Okay, that was it. It was just it ended with the 20 minutes of prayer. I'm gonna have to go over those videos. I haven't had the courage to watch them yet, but I'm gonna have to go over them eventually. Let's get back to Jason Q right quick. Shit, I just closed it, but we'll get back to him and see where he's going with it. I might have to jump ahead now because I accidentally closed it.
Brings
no,
it-
I don't. There it is.
Okay, a little
Instead of
to the right.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Sorry about that. Okay, so instead of the man in the middle, that's Mim.
Uh-huh.
So you have the cop talking, thinking he's talking to the teacher, but he's talking to the man in the middle.
Okay.
Right. So then,
okay,
it pretty much like goes to it flows to the teacher, and then they give an answer. So they actually
I'm sure.
manipulate what is being said.
The man in the middle.
Yes.
Right. And what's the point of the man in the middle? Obviously, besides to
Well, remember when Parkland? Remember when they said that they had a stand down order that nobody went in?
right?
There's the man in the middle gave the stand down order. So it's like, who gave that stand down order? Why did the cops go straight in? Because these guys were still shooting up the place, and they were all getting the rest of their shit, and they were getting that white F-250, and they drove off. They actually showed it on the news. They had them walking out of the building, carrying a stretcher full of, it had a black tarp on it, full of, you could see weapons and everything on it, like, you know, how you throw a tarp on it, how you could tell if weapons and everything. And then they threw it in the back of a truck, and they drove off. But then they went and nailed that Nicholas Cruz. It's like, why didn't they just use that news footage and go and get them? Because they were probably already back in the prison, you know, by the time they already had Nicholas Cruz in custody.
Oh, God. And of course, every school shooting's fake as well.
They actually, like the movie Con Air,
Yeah.
it's like legit. They will actually go to these prisons and they'll get, like they used Timothy McVeigh, Terry Nichols. They used all these pricks, like in the Supermax in Colorado. They would get them visas. They would let them use any weapons they want. They would get them jacked up on this buzz. They call it buzz, but it's BZ.
Okay.
It's like a drug, and they can do whatever they want, all to take away our rights. So the Department of Justice is in on it with the FBI and all this shit.
That's why they're procrastinating.
Wait a second.
They used all these pricks, like in the Supermax in Colorado. They would get them visas. They would let them use any weapons they want. They would get them jacked up on this buzz. They call it buzz, but it's BZ.
Okay.
It's like a drug, and they can do whatever they want, all to take away our rights. So the Department of Justice is.
So they held them. They were holding them hostage. They gave them a drug, and then they let them do whatever they want to take away our rights. Isn't that the plot to B movie? Aren't they all kind of in the hive? And they give them honey, and then they like they're robotic, and they do whatever they want. Whatever they're supposed to do, and then they send them out to gather pollen jockeys. I don't know. Sounds suspiciously familiar.
And all this shit.
That's why they're procrastinating.
Yep.
With all these.
That's the whole JPATs, and they have it's such a just.
I'll agree with the three-wing circus for sure.
When Americans find out that it's, you know, the dark parts of our military and the ones that we're supposed to trust, Like they say,
Uh-huh.
trust. Well, isn't the military? We're supposed to trust the military, right?
Right.
Yeah. Think Air Force. Not all of the Air Force, but
Right.
predominantly, yeah. They were created after the.
So what's that do? Bringing up this point, what's that do with our current situation where we're supposed to trust the military is going to take over?
Look at his eyes when he gives this little Air Force part.
They were created.
Look at him. He can't get them back open. They're like hung.
What's that do? Bringing up this point, what's that do with our
There
current
they go.
situation where we're supposed to trust the military is going to take over and handle everything correctly?
Well, look at Miley.
I know.
Look at shit. Look at the shit. They're just outing them. They're outing all the bad actors and everything because who are the president's men? The Marines. That's who they. That's it. The Marines and the National Guard. Even though the Army and the Air National Guard it's a sublet of the National Guard of the
Something
Army
kicked
and the
in.
Air Force, they're still underneath the state's control.
So what do you think is happening then with the recent, on Wednesday, we had the FEMA EBS that went off. Now, it didn't go off everywhere. I didn't get it over here. I didn't have my TV on, but, the kids are playing a video game, so I don't know if it came through. But I know a lot of people saw it through the TV and the radio. And it was scheduled for, now, granted, people in North Carolina, Virginia, Connecticut, kind of in that around surrounding area got the EBS, but it says that it was designated for the DC area and surrounding metro areas. So if that was occurring, and from some chatter data points that I caught, a lot of military has been moving into DC again. What do we think is happening right now?
Where are you catching all this chatter?
I heard, from what the EBS said, that it said that it mentioned about parts of the United States and Washington, D.C.
Well, I mean what it actually read on the thing.
Yeah.
It only mentioned the DC area. It showed up in different areas, but it was said it was like for DC.
Because the D.C.
What?
area is not a part of the United States of America.
Wait.
Well, I mean what it actually read on the thing.
Yeah.
It only mentioned the DC area. It showed up in different areas, but it was said it was like for DC.
Because the D.C. area is...
So, no. Whenever you get an Amber Alert, it always says where it's for. So, it was a test, and they put it in for the DC area. But when you get like a regular emergency alert, it'll say high wind weather advisory, blah, blah, blah. The such and such advisory board has issued this blah, for the following counties, or for this county, Unicoi, or that's the county I grew up in, or Washington, or Greene, or whatever, for the county, right? You ready, buddy? You can come on? Hey. You got pause your tablet. You gonna come on? Stop it. Oh, you want to tell him good night? Come on over. Oh, no. Step on the floor. Stand. Don't climb up here. I don't want to hurt your butt.
Yeah.
So you just stand there and talk to him. Here.
Hi.
Bye. You went back to school for your second day.
We go for day.
Second day, right?
Second day.
That's right. Then what?
I don't draw and I don't.
Yeah, let's not draw. We come over here to talk. You can draw on your tablet, okay? What do you want to talk about? How do you like school? Like it? Do you like school? Your phone, buddy.
Yeah.
You like school? What about,
Yeah.
I heard you had some new headphones.
Yeah, but that go one time and we go more.
Mommy's got them. You can't come over here.
Thank you.
They flash lights, don't they, Ollie?
No, that girl or a
I know the girl, but look on the camera.
make
Look,
girl.
Ollie. Oh, cool.
Tell them what those are.
What are
Cat.
those?
Cat
Cat what?
headphone.
Headphones.
Very good.
And more better new one.
Those are
Yeah,
for your.
they are better than
you-
daddy's.
You had to have headphones for school, and you picked out these, right?
Wait, why go over? Oh, there it
Is that why? Did you pick them out for school? So you can do your
You
schoolwork?
can see.
Yeah, you gotta have them with your computers.
Let them
huh?
flash, but I just want to talk.
Tell 'em
Did
that
you buy
have
them
to
for
have it
school? For your computer, right?
Hey, down here will what shot hot or song. I got me how what.
Your hypersonic?
No, it will what hot or song.
Okay.
Call okay to all deal call.
You picked them out all by yourself, huh? 'Cause they were
Good
saying
job.
those. Hey, Ollie, really quick. House to punch.
Who? Yeah. Did you make up with the girl? Are you friends now?
No.
Why?
Cut get go a bit go more wall.
Girls more what?
Say that one more time.
Whoa!
More girls more.
No, say the whole thing over.
He's
What-
saying girls more than this word. Were.
Girls ruler. Rule.
No.
Girls rule, boys rule.
More wall or a bad.
More worser.
More worser.
But that's not a word. She makes it worse.
She
Yeah.
makes. Oh, okay.
Worser. More
Mommy
worser
makes
is not a word.
mommy makes my life worse.
Daddy ruined my life.
I love you though. Okay, give me a kiss. Tell everybody good night. Say love you. Oh wait, you didn't tell everybody good night.
Wait, did you tell everybody what you just did by yourself before bedtime?
Wait,
Not that.
That's okay. Go
What'd
ahead.
you do by yourself, Ollie, just a minute ago?
No, say what'd you do by yourself? All by yourself.
But my teeth.
Brush your teeth all by yourself. Show them your teeth.
So good.
Here, let me turn on the lights so they can see.
Say, especially after you got car sick.
Good
and
job.
puked, huh?
Yeah. At least good,
Beautiful.
buddy.
You gotta look
Okay.
up here.
They see you. It's
Look-
fine.
Oh, good job.
All right, now tell everybody say I love you.
Love you.
Good night.
Good night.
And what's your name?
I will not know you.
Have a good weekend, buddy. Love you.
Eh?
Come on. Careful.
Oh.
Don't, Ollie, no.
It's okay.
You
It
can't
was a
jump
sit-down
anymore, buddy.
choice.
Just walk through there. There's cords and it's tight, buddy. All right, let me turn back on the noise gates right quick. Give me just a second. Get all the noise gates back on and we'll watch some more Jason Q here. All right, here we go. Thank you for hanging out while Ollie was here. I'm sure Liam will probably be back later. Maybe. Oh, Liam fell asleep early, so no game train tonight. But that's okay. I got a bunch I need to fucking upload, so no game train. But you get 99 News with Ollie. Thank you guys for hang out here. I know there's probably people that jump off, but he really enjoys when you guys hang out. It's awesome. I love to see. I don't know. It's like I of course I love both my kids to death. Like I'd do anything for them, but I don't know, when Ollie gets excited about something, man, it's special. You look in his eyes, it's something special when he gets excited.
It's not a part of the United States of America.
And I agree with you.
Well, I mean, that's what it is.
Oh, so an EBS always says where it's issued from. Always. An EBS always says where it's issued from. It would be the following counties, the following states, the following districts. So it said from, or for, I'm sorry. It's being issued for Washington, D.C. The same that it says, it might say it's being issued for Northeast Tennessee.
Yes. Now they're separating the the whole, we're getting our republic back and we're dumping the bankruptcy right into their lap.
Okay. Because that's what I've kind of wondering about, because DC's been pretty vacant. They've been doing some training there. They put up these new broadcast speakers down
DC's actually been pretty busy here lately.
And concerned if
compared to what it's been the last year.
Military moving in there for right now.
Parade time.
The parade time.
They're busting them all up. Gotta do the arrests.
Yes. I'm ready for that.
Yep.
So what else did you find on the symposium in regards to the 9/11 reference?
Well,
I didn't want to get off track on that.
Well, it's the 19-year and 11-month anniversary. Okay. Now, when you take the 11 months, when you put 11 month out of 12 months, it gives you a specific percentage.
Okay.
Gives you 88%. Where have we seen 88 before?
Wow.
But President
all those tribunals, they had to be flying people in from all around the world, right?
Trump mentioned 88%. Was it just last night or night before last?
I didn't catch that. So
he mentioned it in a when he was talking to
Chris.
Dan Bongino. Dan Bongino was interviewing him, and he mentioned something about 88%. I'm like,
interesting.
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of interesting too. Somebody made
But to be fair, Trump could have said any number and you would have found it interesting in some different way. Like
statement saying out there, calling out like some of the networks and getting them to say something about the symposium. And then Dan was like, I'm not going to be told what to say ever. I was like, I get it, man, but you're a conservative and this is kind of like an important thing you want to at least mention maybe what you saw or what your opinion is at some point. So maybe he's not done going through everything yet because he likes to go through things with a fine-tooth comb as well.
yeah. But it might,
Or something.
if it might like reveal that they're looking in a specific spot too. That's why he's like, oh no, it's just like that Dan Crenshaw from Texas.
Mm-hmm.
They're calling him dirty now too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what was that youth foundation group that he was a part of? Picture of it, but I don't remember the name of it. And Zuckerberg and David Ross.
Oh no.
And there was a couple women and someone else. It'll come to me.
It just are these guys, the whole good and bad. Are they playing a role to where they can?
Madison Monsoon Season. That was also a film she was in. I know that was from a different show and it carried over to Madison Marquette, but yeah, that was a feature-length film she was in. Madison Monsoon Season.
Get these guys like snatched up, or are they like legitimately bad? And then that's the thing. It's like, well, I mean, you go through SEAL training and all this other stuff to just be on the dark side. I mean, just really. Just doesn't.
Look at like the movie Salt.
Thank you, Pixie.
Hey there, man.
We always get our normal haters in here, but thank you guys. Thank you for your humor in these uncertain times, Becky Monzo. Thank you very much, Becky. I appreciate it. We get normal haters from this channel or that channel or whatever from time to time. It is what it is. They some of them are good at trolling, and here lately they've all fucking sucked.
Angelina Jolie, Russian infiltrator. That
Hey,
was
Beer Man. I saw the alert 2 times in 15 minutes on TV at the local service department, having my truck serviced, and both times it was in Spanish. Weird. What was your thoughts on that? That was the first ever alert that they had sent out in Spanish or English, and someone at some point had put that TV on the Spanish settings. they made a pre announcement like 2 weeks before they were going to do it that you could either get it in English and Spanish, and they also said they knew they were going to mess some of them up. So
Military went through all these things for all this long time just to be triggered and switch. You know, at like 30 something, 40 something, whatever she was when she played that role. Just saying.
Never seen it.
Oh,
I know.
it's like
It's
what are
probably,
the?
probably a good movie, right?
Well, you know, I don't watch many movies.
Yeah.
So the ones that I do watch, you know, I remember. I'll tell you my favorite
Pretty
is still
bad.
Lady.
yes,
Okay, you know.
I don't get it.
Oh,
My favorite.
you want to hear? You want to
Yeah,
hear?
no problem, buddy.
A story about that. So when we were working in Mississippi, and this off subject, but we were working in Mississippi, and me and my buddy Chris, and well, not buddy now, but he's a liberal, so that mentions anything. So we were down there for a job, and we had to weld on this bridge that was over the Pearl River. I was getting ready. It was
So the official reason for the test was because it needed to be tested. Some people within this community say, "Oh, the reason for the test is make sure it works." So when they announce Donald Trump come back, everybody knows. I don't know. Sometimes I think the government's just doing weird and stuff just to drive the conspiracy crowd even wilder until they get one to do what they want. And that'll be make a big scene and hurt some people and blah, 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 so they can label everybody.
getting ready to fail, and we had to weld on it while traffic was running on it. So it's like, oh, that's okay. That'll work. But so we had to go to laundromat because the hotel, it just has like one washer, one dryer. It's like,
Sure.
okay, well, we have much more clothes on, but so we get in there, and needless to say, I mean, it's a mixed bag of people. Let's just say that Chris and I were the only ones that were lacking melanin in there. So what's on TV?
Tim Horton says, I have not gotten an Amber Alert in months. They usually don't send them out to people who they consider people of interest and or suspects. So that explains it, Tim. Just mess with me.
I'm
See you, Yori.
Chris, I think we're going to die today. He's like, they're not showing us on TV. And I'm like, dude, it's on right.
Yeah, I actually got a bunch of paperwork and a little skit I got to edit too.
And it was uncut.
It was I was gonna say it was probably an edited version,
Yeah.
but no, if it's uncut, that's a totally different thing.
No.
We're gonna jump ahead some, see if they take calls.
Last night at midnight. So still doing their shit.
I know. Yeah. Yeah.
I
know. Also, I agree with you, Miss Kelly, about something's not right. I'm a very spiritual person, and I'm how can I put it? I'm very one.
That's right, Miss Mo.
And ever since
A lot of people that have never been around a wildfire don't realize that they're scary as fuck sometimes, especially if you've been up close to one or one's basically like, I don't even know how to say it other than like snuck up on you, like you didn't expect it, you didn't know it was coming, blah, 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 then all of a sudden you're in the danger zone and got to get out of there. Wildfires can be scary as fuck. Nobody wants to burn alive.
God told me to vote for Trump in 2016. I never voted in my life, ever. And he told me, they told me to vote, and I voted. And whenever 2020 came, I voted again, and I knew what was going to happen.
Why didn't you tell nobody?
I knew it wasn't going to be easy
Should have warned us.
in the forcing of things. But I'm at peace ever since I caught Jason on Charlie. First time I caught him was on Charlie, and I've been following him ever since. And then another thing is
The wildfire smoke is bad.
like I said, I do believe something's up, something's wrong.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Patriot Pan Crapper. I saw a lot of the damage and while it was going on, the stuff that happened around the one in Gatlinburg, and I've been out west while like a small one. They were working a small one, kind of got to see it, but I've never been like laying in my bed in the middle of the night and getting an alert that we got to leave our fucking house or nothing.
Funky feeling.
Well, being a trucker, I need to ask you a question. So there's been a lot of shipping issues, but the other big thing that data point
That's right, Karen.
about a month and a half, it's probably 2 months by now, is that any truckers that do any kind of hazardous material and have had any kind of issues in their past with any kind of drug tests or anything else, that we're running short on actual drivers. Now, the other reason that's up for discussion on why we might be short on drivers is
Yeah, when I was in high school or maybe just graduated, I worked for a local farmer here who owns a lot of farmland and does hay and cattle and stuff. And we had a wildfire that was here. No, I was in school. We had a wildfire that was here that someone had set. It was basically the whole side of the mountain, and he had a couple bulldozers, and a couple of us hopped on one bulldozer, a couple of us hopped on the other bulldozer and tried cutting fire lines, like tried to help. And I would say we helped some, but not a major portion of it, I'm sure. Hopefully we helped some. It wasn't a hindrance. But anyways, one of the things that blew my mind is like, I've been near a lot of explosions and fires and stuff, but just the sustained heat from how far away you were. Like, man, it's weird to just describe how far heat travels when it's that big a fireball for that long. Because I've been around explosions too, and I've felt the heat off different things, but it's just sustained and that large. It was crazy.
Because of those have had adverse effects due to the vaccine. Now, whether that's going to get worse, but how many? I have a question in regards to like employers. I know a lot of you guys are self-employed, but do you guys have any employers? Are you seeing anybody that is requesting that you guys get the vaccine with the kind of job that you have, with not having a whole lot of like one-on-one, you know?
Okay. This is the deal. Companies and everything, they can demand all they want. And my dad works for a big company, and they're putting a lot of stuff out there, but a lot of them are resisting.
Good.
Because they're doing the HIPAA, they're doing everything that everybody's suggesting. When it comes to owner-operators, we are contractors.
Right.
They cannot whatsoever tell us what we can and cannot do.
Yeah.
Right.
And
That's
I don't
good.
think the trucking companies are going to really push it because we are one of the backbone.
And apparently they're basically dying for truckers right now.
I really don't believe. And a lot of them are just, they're doing it on their own.
So what could you speculate?
And a lot of them are doing it because of the traveling bit.
You mean a lot of them are getting it on their own? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, there's a good amount and everything. They're doing it on their own because they want to go travel. They want to go on their cruises. They want to do this. They want to do that. Like, people, y'all are ignorant.
Okay. Why would you speculate right now that what is your just personal opinion on what this bottleneck issue is with shipping? Now, I haven't noticed it except for one item that just doesn't seem to want to get to me. For some reason, it is evading me, and it's very important. But what is your analysis on what you're seeing with what's going on? Is it just really a lack of supply, or are we having some transportation issues besides just high fuel costs?
I think they're holding it for a reason.
They're just holding everything back.
Because you look at it, all right, let's put it this way. Truckers, our easy access is Walmart. Okay? That's our easy access because we're able to go into Walmart. So very seldom do you find like Target and all the others that are big enough for our trucks. Okay? So it's easy for us to go into Walmart.
I can see that.
And
That's kind of boring.
For students and faculty to be vaccinated.
Oh, Earl called in, huh?
To a lot of teachers.
I feel bad. I feel real bad for Earl, the way he's a prop the same way as Scott McKay's dad was a prop for the show. It's disgusting.
In Canada, now we're going to have a snap election.
Did you say a snap?
The Prime Minister is going to dissolve Parliament and have a snap election on the 20th of next month.
So the 20th of September. Did you say snap though?
September?
Yep.
Yeah, September.
A snap election. So there are things coming down that just like, yeah, it's like our election takes only like, I want to say almost like 2 months to like go through, like, or 3 sometimes.
Man, I don't know. I feel bad even listening to that.
Very interesting. Yeah,
I just think about they promised him a med bed. They promised him they were going to fix everything. They promised to get him in line. And he was legitimately, because of a narrative they had pushed on him, like he was legitimately worried. He was scared in his voice, and they promised him things that don't exist. Like, man, that was all fucked up.
Which
Put it in
chat?
the chat for you to see it.
Which one?
On Rumble?
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not in the chat.
Yeah, speaking of Rumble, get those Rumbles going, you guys. Percentages are not correct.
So I don't. How do the rumbles work over on Rumble? Is it just like a lock? Is that what a rumble is?
Yeah, yeah, it says Love's Life 777. That's my handle, and then you have the question on there. Also, they are flying Blackhawks in my neighborhood.
And what area are you in?
Sarasota County.
Yeah, when there was additional taxes added on to stuff that was imported from China. It was I don't know what it was on everything. I'm sure it was a percentage, but it was like on a $500 item, it was $50. So I'm guessing it was right around 10% tariff.
General Flynn lives.
Oh.
There's a red cross on the Blackhawk.
Okay, well, I'm just making this comment real quick. I don't see your name in the chat. I don't see it as a comment. I don't see anything anywhere.
I put it on there like 50 times. I keep repeating it. It's funny. Yeah, it's on the Rumble. It's Love's Life 777. That's who I am. Yeah, it's just a question about the galactic astrology. The website is spacestationplaza.com. That's where I got the information off of. And I just happened to have my best friend's birthday is that day. So that's why I was looking at it. And if you look on the website, you put the date of 8/22/21. It comes up blue self-existing monkey, which is identical.
Yeah, factor the algorithm. Okay.
It happened on a blue self-existing Kin 251 day. So just thought I should throw that out there for Justin.
Interesting. Definitely something we'll look into for sure.
Okay.
Any other thoughts?
Well, I'm
Mr.
so
Mann?
excited
Looks
that
like
I
you
got
got
through.
smoke billowing out of your ears on this one.
I think you fell asleep. That's called the come down, I think. I used to get those
Jason, did you get it?
years and years and years ago.
Yeah. Trying to process.
Yeah, his liver is trying to process all that shit back out into his urine.
Yeah. I don't see it on Rumble either, you guys. I'm not in the comments. It's not in the chat.
I
it's not
keep
anywhere.
posting it, hoping you'll see it.
Well, something must be going on because the post isn't showing up. And I'm not the only one commenting on that. I've got mods that look at this chat and they don't even see it anywhere the whole show.
Okay.
Well, there's a worldwide computer chip. There's a silica shortage. That kind of, it was an underlining issue that we're able to manage before COVID, and then COVID hit, and it was already an issue that was there, and immediately it became unmanageable, and the back orders and everything else. That's why I can't get computer parts. You can't get car part or brand new cars. That's why you can't get industrial tools. Anything that has a computer chip in it is hard to get.
So
like I said, the website is spacestationplaza.com.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it.
All
Well,
right.
thank
I'm
you very
so
much.
excited. I got to talk to you guys.
Oh. Call anytime. That's what we're here for.
I mean,
Yeah,
this is
anytime.
just such exciting times we live in.
It truly
You're not helping with their.
for this bubble to burst like any moment.
Oh, you're not helping with their God complex, are you?
It's a coming. Almost there.
I feel
Almost
it.
there. Almost.
Hold on just a second. What did she say the website was?
Okay.
Got it. So there
Like
might be
I said,
something there
the
that's
website is spacestationplaza.com.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it.
All
thank
right.
you
I'm
very
so
much.
excited. I got to talk to you guys.
Oh my God! What the hell is this? Oh no! This is like I'm gonna be doing a shit ton of research. Oh no! There's like Yeah, so when you first open a website, like the first part you see is called Above the Fold. It's held over from like newspapers, so it would be on like what you would consider the top of the front page of the newspaper. It'd be what you saw when it was in the rack or when someone is holding it up above the fold. What they got above the fold is about 9 different calculators, and there's probably 20 times that amount of information just on their homepage. This is not going to be good. That's a lot of shit to go through.
Call anytime. That's what we're here for.
Yeah, I'm an idiot. I was typing in PlayStation Plaza because I didn't know what she was talking about.
I mean,
Yeah,
this is
anytime.
just such exciting times we live in.
It truly is. We're just waiting for this bubble to burst like any moment.
Yeah.
It's a coming. Almost there.
I feel
Almost
it.
there. Almost there.
Feel it.
Almost there.
Yeah, right now, still something. I mean, like brand new video cards for computers and stuff. That was what Liam requested for his birthday, and we were going to slowly buy parts and build it or whatever. But like video cards and even some of the CPUs with the chips in them, but the video cards are worse. The used ones and the ones that do pop up new are twice their MSRP if you can buy one. And the latest, greatest, top-of-the-line ones very, very, very rarely pop up. But there was, at one time, they were selling them for like 8 times what they were worth. So people that were just happened to get in a Micro Center at a line and they were allowed to buy 2. I mean, they made 8 times on their money if they just sold it.
All right, darling. Well, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you so much. God bless.
Bless you.
God bless you too. It's like the Grateful Dead long strange trip it's been, you know?
Right. Carol in the comments said,
It feels so weird having a new vape tank. I had that other one patched up and taped together for like 4 years.
Trump's 5D.
It's the same box, but the tank is new and all in one piece.
That's interesting.
I forget, and when I bring it to my mouth, not paying attention, I freak out.
7-2. Hello, you're live with Jason
Hi,
Kelly.
this is Gabby.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, Gabby.
Hi.
Hey, thanks for calling us. What can we do for you?
Wonderful. Thank you for asking.
Good. Hey, I listened to Jason last night on Galactic Greg. Just love that show. And so I have a question about the
Patriot Pant Crapper. Is it called fentanyl? I got a guy in China that can get it.
I'm a baby boomer, so I'm late to the show and all this conspiracy.
By China, I mean China, Illinois. He gets it from China, the country, but I get it from China, Illinois.
Theory. So I'm just now being shocked about 9/11 and everything. But I didn't understand how. Did you say drones took it down and not planes? And if the planes didn't take it down, what happened to the people that were in the planes?
Yes, drone took it down because the speed that an aircraft can fly at that low of altitude, it cannot go that fast. Not with the electrical engines.
But people were like phony relatives, when they were on the plane.
Yeah, they weren't on the plane. The thing is that when you go on a plane and you're like flying at 36,000 feet, can't use your cell phone. I mean, they do have the phones on the plane itself that you could use, but they said that a lot of them were using their cell phones.
Yeah, well, So even back then, there were apps that you could use to call through, basically like through Wi-Fi. You could use the internet signal on the phone, and plus a lot of the planes dove down. It's not that you can't ever get a signal. There's certain altitudes you can get a signal. Places that are taller, especially if there's mountains on either side and a cell phone tower on it. But once you get down low enough, a lot of people don't know. They think. So I've heard when I used to work on cell phone towers, I used to hear this all the time. They'd say, "I don't know why I can't get a signal. I'm standing under the cell phone tower." Well, that cell phone tower doesn't service where you're at. It's a directional antenna almost all the time. And the way you set up the antennas is you get an azimuth, like a location, and you get an elevation, where like you put a pitch on it, and they're actually using that antenna, which it spreads out infinitely by the time it leaves the antenna, but they're using it to shoot at a city center or a new houses that were built, or condos, or a new hotel on the beach that doesn't have service or something. It doesn't matter if you're standing under the antenna. So you just got to get in that array somewhere. And again, it goes out indefinitely. That means it's an antenna, a cell phone antenna tower, or cell phone tower antenna is it's not like tubular shape, but it's long and skinny like a rectangle. So it goes up, down, left, and right from that angle that's set from the factory. So yeah, you could get service in places and spots. You'd be flying through it pretty quick, depending on how fast you're going, unless you're coming straight at the tower. But yeah, you could probably get service some places. So especially once you dropped in, once you drop in elevation, I mean, it would just be like, being up on the side of a ridge in a place that's mountainous.
I mean, these people seem pretty damn calm on those messages. It's almost as if they're reading something, and like as if they were landed somewhere and they were reading something off of a piece of paper. Because that's those the Boeing, the GE, the the uninterruptible autopilot switches that they had in every one in the four.
That's not true. You know how stupid that sounds? An uninterruptible autopilot switch. What if it malfunctions and takes you into the mouth of an active volcano? What do you mean? Oh, CJ Hyatt, thanks for hanging out with us. What do you mean you couldn't do anything? You're just like, okay, we're being sacrificed to the lava god.
Boeing planes, those four, yeah, they didn't hit any target. They were landed someplace else.
Okay, so
I think one of them was shot down.
wow. Okay.
There's redundancy, and there's so like you can't just in an airplane. If you watch some of these YouTubers that are actually pilots in an airplane, you can't just turn off the co-pilot. You can set an elevation and hit 2 switches and change elevation. But to get the sticks back, it's like a set of steps to get the sticks back. That doesn't mean that. I mean, that's what they're calling it when they're saying, "Oh, you can't. It's non-interruptible or whatever." Like that means if you bump the stick or do this or accidentally change the wrong dial, there's like a set of steps that you have to do to get the sticks back. But it's not that it cannot be interrupted. What if it malfunctioned? The son of a bitch runs off fucking GPS and magnets and ADSB. What if it malfunctioned and just puts you in loops until you run out of fuel? That doesn't make any sense. All of those systems are able to go back to the very basic. It's still fly-by-wire. You can't go back to like flying by tension cable, but it's still fly-by-wire. But you can go all the way back to fly it the whole way. You can land it manually by visuals. Like you can turn all that shit off.
Another quick question.
There's actually times when you have an issue on a plane, there's all these different manuals, and you get the manuals out of this big-ass book if you're a pilot. If you're the pilot, so there's always 2 pilots, pilot flying, pilot monitoring. The pilot monitoring gets out the book and says, okay, I think we got a number 1 engine failure. He flips through it, it says number 1 engine failure, and it'll say step 1, reduce speed to, 300 knots, okay? And then the guy flying will say check because he reduced the speed. And it'll say try to windmill the engine, release, engine brake, add fuel, and oil pressure or whatever. Like, they go through those steps because they have to take over and do shit like that all the time. It's so stupid.
Question. You mentioned something about a book that was
Not all the time, but they have to be able to do it.
I didn't catch the title
Oh, the dossier.
or a doc.
Yeah, that's the it's the
Yeah.
I think we have it up on our site. Do we?
I'm going to check
believe
right
so?
now. You're talking about the one with the FBI,
The FBI one.
correct?
Yeah, from 2009. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, the one you said everybody should read.
Oh yes, it is big.
Well, you can get it on.
By the way, the claim that he makes is that they were on 767s, and I don't know the exact numbers, but I know it was basically this close. It was with like 150, 200 knots. So the FAA has a recommendation that at a lower altitude, a few hundred feet, that the 767 should never be over 350 knots. But they got the planes coming in and crashing at like 500 knots. Now that's a safety recommendation. It's like saying when you go to pull something with a chain or a cable, it's rated for a specific load, and it'll say it's good for 2,000 pounds in a basket, a simple basket rigging. But it'll probably hold 3, 4, 5 times that weight. The FFA makes the recommendations because that's the all scenarios. No matter what, if we hit 15 flocks of birds and the wings ice over and this or that, it's still safe. That's why they use that. But on a day when you're just getting from here to the building, you can exceed that too. What do you think happens? They go to a different dimension, or the plane just turns into a ball of energy and then becomes Scott McKay's legs and arms and his chest, and then he looks at his friend, but it's not his friend, it's his prison, man, because we've ascended.
Described as well.
Yeah. Oh yes, this is. Oh, whoa! Who was that guy?
I don't know. I turned you down.
He got mouthy.
Oh, did they save him? I didn't even hear it.
Those 4. Yeah.
Another quick title.
30. No, I don't have that one on the site. I can get it on there. In Mexico.
They might have edited it out.
I just haven't.
Tile is against right.
Except
what this
It was
is.
against everything.
No, I thought that was.
He got mouthy.
832. Document all those group websites.
I haven't. I don't get a spot.
Damn, did I miss him? Hold on.
To their children. They're learning homeschooling.
Only doing. I have a question, but
Document. We'll do it later though. If you want. Area code. We can bust out a couple more. 832. You're live with Jason and Kelly. Hello.
That's not him. He didn't take that long to respond, did he?
Hello.
Okay, I'm gonna put you back on hold.
Shalom.
Live with Jason and Kelly. More 832. You want. Area code. We can bust out a couple more. Send it to me if you would, so I can get it over to. Absolutely.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you so
We'll just wait. Let's do it here again because I lost it, but we'll find it. This is the last woman they talked to.
So I can get it over to. We'll do it later though. If you want. Area code. We can bust out a couple more. 832. You're live with Jason and Kelly. Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Okay, I'm gonna put you back on hold.
Shalom. Shalom. Hello.
Yes,
Hello.
plan theory, the text document, all those group or guru.
Yeah, I think he said that because the guy called in talking shit, so he accused him of being a Jew.
All those books are on the website and stuff.
I think that was his shot at him, I guess.
List and other stuff, but area code
Oh,
909.
that list is going up.
Yeah, I know. I have to do a whole bunch of work to it I don't want to do. But area code 909.
Hi. Hi, you guys. It's Lori from California.
I don't know where the hell the call went just now.
I have a question, but before I get to that, since you're talking about the schools and stuff,
All sorts of stuff.
I haven't put my kids back in school. I'm homeschooling.
We
them.
haven't heard this one yet, have we? Homeschooling. I know we haven't.
Oh, that list is going up.
Yeah, what they were. All those books.
Shalom.
Hello.
Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Okay, I'm going to put you back on hold.
Shalom.
Hello.
Hello.
Now I really want to hear it because I can't find it.
Area code, we can bust out a couple more. 832. We'll do it.
Thank you.
No
Thank you for taking my call. I've been representing the nuclear fan.
Out again, what this is.
Because everything that we stand for.
Right. Right.
Exactly.
That goes. That person may have done that. There's
I'm gonna catch it because I was at
It said something about you. Who was that?
Here it is.
Oh, well.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, the one you said everybody should read.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I think this is it. Because he said something about you. He's a real tough guy.
On Scribed as well.
Yeah. Oh, yes. This is. Oh, whoa. Who was that guy?
I don't know. I turned you down.
He got mouthy.
It was in the middle of a call. They didn't even answer a call. It came from Jason's computer. And she said, I turned you down.
Yes, it's
one with the
FBI.
They're already talking to a woman right here. This is what I thought was happening.
You mentioned something about a book that was 171 pages.
A book.
The title
Oh, the dossier?
or a doc.
Yeah, that's the, it's the, I think we have it up on our, site. Do we?
I'm going to check
Believe
right
so?
now. You're talking about the one with the FBI,
The FBI one?
correct?
Yeah, from 2009? Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, the one you said everybody should read.
Oh, yes. It is big.
Well, you can get it on Scribed as well.
Yeah. Oh, yes. This is. Oh, whoa. Who was that?
I think it was just an audio clip that played on Jason's computer. That old lady was still in there. I'd been talking to him for 20 minutes about 9/11. And then it just said, oh, yes, this is.
From 2009? Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, the one you said everybody should read.
Oh, yes. It is big.
Well, you can get it on Scribed as well.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
That is Jason's voice, is it not? Hold on, let me turn down the audio because it's really way up there, and you're not going to be able to hear them good. But listen for Jason. I think it's Jason, a recording of Jason.
Oh yes, it is big.
Well, you can get it on Scribed as well.
Yeah. Oh yes,
That's Jason,
Who was that guy?
and he got mouthy.
He got mouthy.
Are they saying that sarcastically? I guess
Said something about you.
maybe so.
No, I don't have that one on the site. I can get
I
it
was hoping it was a real caller calling in talking shit. Damn it, I wasted all that time.
everybody really quickly. That way, if somebody in the group has the ability to show up and or do something about it, and the other ones don't, at least somebody can still be hands-on.
I don't know if you guys have ever found a video of a guy calling in and telling Jason Q on this show that he's not enlightened enough to understand the connection between multicolored polo shirts and assorted ties and JFK and his sweater. but it's a complete troll. It's obviously fabricated. That's way too fucking specific, even for a crazy conspiracy theory. And just because Jason's pride is at a level where he can't say, I know it was a troll. I know the guy who called in and did it. Just because Jason's pride is at a level where he can't admit that he doesn't know something, especially to a male caller, he keeps going, I think I got that somewhere. Yeah, I know what you're talking. Yeah, the polos. Yeah. He did like to wear sweaters. That's right. And you said blue, right? And he's acting like he's writing notes. And it's just a guy that just made the shit up. Yeah, the shirt paradigm. It's just a guy that made this shit up about shirts and how they predict the future. Man, it's a crazy video. When you think about Jason's ego and shit, it's a crazy video. It's fun. It's fun to watch if you ever get a chance to watch it, but it's a trip. All right, guys. I think that's it for me tonight. What time is it? 12:30? Yeah, that's pretty good. Tara, thank you very much at the very end, towards the end, for the $200 donation. That was very generous. Carolyn and Mark, happy birthday, Carolyn. Thank you for the donation. Bucka, thank you for the donation. And Kellen, thank you very much. NA, that was from yesterday, I think. NA. Let me go over to Buy Me a Coffee because there's some that come in there, and I'll check those. It's probably we're going to have probably a change in the schedule and some stuff going on where we're trying to get out of the house, trying to get moved, trying to get settled, trying to get everything taken care of, paperwork, this and that. I never realized it was so complicated just trying to get somebody to take your fucking money to buy a house, but it is what it is. We're doing our best. They went with the first one we tried to buy. I went with a different offer. And then the second one, the seller backed out. Now we're talking to another one. But it is what it is. We're doing what we can. But when all that happens and we actually start moving and right now I'm just taking shit to storage, like a storage unit, because at least it's better than it being sitting here and it's getting us at least going somewhere. But when that starts to happen, I don't know what my schedule will look like, but I'll try to be as around as often as I can. I know you guys like the nightly show. Becca Monzo, over at Buy Me a Coffee. John Frank, 11 Bravo, RL, that was from last night. So thank you guys for those donations. I appreciate it. We'll do what we can as the schedule changes and see what happens. Maybe I can do a lot of it during the day and maybe still stream some at night. Well, we'll see. I don't know. I guess maybe I overstepped. Maybe we'll see what I can do, what I can't do. But thank you guys very much for joining us tonight. We'll be back tomorrow night with something else to talk about. What I've been doing is doing a show where we just cover somebody else's stuff, and then I've been doing a show where I do a lot more in-depth research, like the Bill Gates one, or I don't know, some of the other ones we did, the Flat Earth and this and that. So we'll do what we can and try to keep them coming up for you. Hope you enjoy the show. If you need me for some reason, you guys know how to hit me up, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Have a good night.
Man, I can't talk to you now. Why do people call me while I'm on? No. Shut up.
Oh shit, guys! I hope that doesn't end up happening to us. Everybody told me if you get a storage unit, you'll just keep shit in it all the time. We're planning on throwing a lot away, giving away, selling a lot of stuff we don't use. Thank you, Jennifer. Appreciate it.
You ain't seen none yet. Yeah. Woo, woo.
And Mars in the house.
Hey. The jab. Pine needle tea.
Underground DOMs save the children.
Social security card claims, birth certificate claims, Vatican Tunnel.
Medbed.
Martial law.
1745. 10 Days of Darkness. Digging tunnels. Dogecoin, the evergreen. 19. Vaseline. Boom. All right, here we go.
Here we go.
Hey, if you've been trying to get a hold of me, I I've had a lot on my mind. So if you've been trying to get a hold of me for any reason, I know there's some people I had to go back and find emails for. If you've been trying to get a hold of me for any reason, I apologize. When I've got a lot on my mind, I lose, misplace, forget, blah, blah, blah. Just hit me up again if for some reason I haven't answered you, and I apologize for it. That's supposed to be on. We'll see you on the next one, guys. Have a good night.
All these false fucking prophets who profit off of gossip, worshiping drums, cocking, begging for a throat deposit, swinging fucking meat hammers like fool in a thong.
Oh no, Dancing Warrior. I'm sure you'll get it figured out, man. 1,800 miles apart. That's awful. Funny, looking back on it, but I'm sure it's not funny to you, is it?
Trump in a dress, fucking Flynn on his desk, a retard in a vest, climbing up 5G towers, cause you told him if he did, he'd get fucking superpowers. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss him off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss him off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. I used to find clues too when I was high on shrooms. I found myself a tunnel that led to Jason Q's bedroom. Open his closet, I found some of his meat rockets. I strapped them to my shoes and then I flew through the roof. I found myself in orbit strapped to an F-16. High on amphetamine with Trump in between. Put on a light coat of baby oil and saluted the troops. He tapped me on the shoulder and said, "This is gonna be it." Whoa, wait. Stop. What? I'll get my files. Wait, what are you doing? Stop. Hold on. Fucking stop. Dude, come on. Seriously. My mom's an alcoholic. Oh, give me a... Oh, my God. Damn it. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss him off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss him off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Round 3. Down goes Nino. Please say it isn't so. Got him backed up on the ropes, trying to ram it down.
Oh, awesome, Ron. Thank you for dropping that in there. We got inventory for everything that's been ordered. Thank you, Ron. I appreciate it.
Network do no damn research. They rework and copy on cocks that came first. 9th inning, second string, and they acting like they know hitters. Assholes throwing bullshit, sending runs to the shitter. All this nonsense on my conscience. It's hard to sleep at night. Who the fuck is in my window with this time of the night? These parasites, these leeches, with all their secret meetings, teaching all you fucking cretins about baby-eating heathens. Believing in reasons with no meaning is bullshit. Will Bird motherfuckers out here busting the grifts. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss him off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen.
See you guys. Thank you for joining us. I do really appreciate it. You guys mean the world to me. I don't get to talk to anybody or do anything else. I really appreciate you guys being here, probably as much as y'all like to hang out with me and listen and act crazy or whatever. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Glasses in your mother's basement, and I won't even give out your dime store handle because that's really pathetic.